Good evening, everyone. Call the class to order, please. Are those teachers talking? Good evening. We'll reconvene the meeting from closed session back into open session, and we'll have Pledge of Allegiance led by our student board rep, Omkar.
Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll move on to the moment of silence. Okay. So here goes the moment of silence. So today's a moment of celebration, a time when seniors head off to college and on to the next chapter of their lives. Yet it's a time to recognize those that won't walk with us, not as a moment of sorrow, but as a moment of remembering how they impacted the lives of others. We often live in the next big thing or crossing the next obstacle. It is time to revel in our successes today and the memories of those that should have walked alongside us at graduation. So, in the kind memory of lives lost and to the successes that came in their remembrance, join me in a moment of silence.
Thank you, Omkar. Next, we'll have a closed session report read out by our clerk.
Right, thank you. Item 4.1, no reportable action taken regarding public employee performance evaluation superintendent. 4.2, no reportable action taken regarding unprecedented, oh my goodness, I can't even say that, unprecedented, thank you, employee, that's a tongue twister, superintendent. 4.3, no reportable action regarding existing litigation. 4.4, no reportable action taken regarding negotiation. 4.5, no reportable action taken regarding personnel. 4.6, the Board of Trustees unanimously voted to approve the release of temporary certificated teachers, psychologists, and social workers. A full copy of the employee numbers affected by this action is available for inspection. 4.7, the Board of Trustees unanimously voted to accept the agreement with employee HR-2022-23-202. 4.8, the Board of Trustees unanimously voted to reassign employee HR-2022-23-13 to an area within their credential. 4.9, the Board of Trustees unanimously voted to accept the agreement with employee HR-2022-23-302. Item 4.10, the Board of Trustees took formal action with a 5-0 vote to approve the expulsion of student 22-35. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next, we have 6.1, student representative to the Board of Trustees. And it's my honor to be able to honor and recognize our student to the board, Mr. Omkar Khatri, for his service for this last year. And on the behalf of the board, I want to thank you for the service that you've provided for us and for the district and for your fellow students. You've done a marvelous job. And would you like to say a few words?
I would. I know the other ambassadors are here as well to talk about their gratitude. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for allowing us students to have a voice on the dais. And I personally really appreciate the fact that the board takes so much dedication to ensure that each student is cared and understood for. And it means a lot to know that you do so much to ensure the well-being of every student, no matter who they are, what they're going through, and where they're at in the current moment. And I think it's something that's truly unique to the AUHSD and to all of you, executive cabinet and esteemed board. You're all simply incredible, and I look up to you every day. You guys are amazing role models, and I know every student is honored to have you as their board.
Well, thank you. We had the board come up for a picture. going to, okay, you can stay there. All right. Next, 6.2, the 22-23 AUHSD student ambassadors. The Board of Trustees will honor the district's student ambassadors for their service during the 22-23 year. The ambassadors serve as official spokespersons for all of the district students at special ceremonies, events, and functions. The student leaders are also deeply embedded in the district's governance structure and actively provide the student voice wherever possible. The following students will be recognized for their important contribution to the district, and I'd like to have Mr. Ron Hoshi, Hilda Vasquez, and I'm not sure I saw Jennifer Brown in the audience. Oh, she is here? Okay. Can you three please come forward, as you are the sort of the leaders of this group? So come on forward. Okay, there you go. Are you going to say something about the ambassador?
Well, on behalf of the students representing all of our schools, including Cambridge and Hope School, I just really want to thank the board and the Ed Division and Superintendent Matsuda for really allowing the students, like Omkar said, to have a voice. The student voice is valued here, and we just want to say thank you so much. The kids have taken on a lot more responsibilities with getting students with LCAP. Omkar and Vinod led a district-wide mindfulness committee that did 2 mindfulness workshops this year. And we are just so proud of their work and how they are continuing to get more students involved. And we are happy to be working with the ASB directors next year and with Mr. Shalinsky closer to get more student, us working together as leaders and to involve more students. So thank you on behalf of Mrs. Vasquez and Mrs. Brown and the student ambassador team. We'd like to thank you for trusting us because the answers really are in the room with these kids. So thank you.
Absolutely, they can. Yes.
Yeah, I'll try to keep this brief, but again, thank you so much for this opportunity. Through this entire experience, I've learned so much about the district, about so many people, and how working together we can achieve so many things. And working together and having common goals, you can always do things to better our community, to better our schools, and I really appreciate everything that you all do and everyone in the audience, because I know that everyone just walking over here, everyone said hi to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, hi. Just thinking about how everyone here has that common vision of education is important and how can we help improve it and, you know, better serve our community and all the kids there. So thank you, everyone.
Tell us where you're going.
Of course. Yeah, sorry, I got excited. So yeah, my name is Evelyn Alonso. I am the student ambassador at Anaheim High School.
Where are you headed?
And I will be attending Yale University next year.
Evelyn? Evelyn?
I am so sorry. Okay.
Evelyn? Evelyn? Come on.
All right. Hi everyone, my name is Malia Balcom-Fikre and I've proudly represented Cambridge Virtual Academy as a student ambassador this year. It has truly been an experience where I've learned a lot. from helping out in the mindfulness and Black Lives Matter task forces to presenting about our career and preparedness systems framework to elementary schools, I was able to get a glimpse of just how much time and effort is put into this district for the better of our students. Throughout this program, I've gained so much, from soft and hard skills, quite a few blazers, my individuality, and so much more. I'm grateful to have had this opportunity, which has shaped me into the confident person standing before you. Thank you, CVA, Mom, Mr. Hoshi, Mrs. Vasquez, Ms. Brown, the Board of Trustees, especially Ms. Randall Trejo, you're awesome, and everyone who has made this experience possible. I'll be bringing the lessons I've learned with me to UC Santa Cruz, where I intend to pursue a degree in psychology. Thank you.
Tall for this one. Oh. All right. So hello, my name is Vinod Vivraj, and I was the ambassador for Cypress High School this year. And I think one of the main things I really wanted to get across to, I guess, everyone in this room was how powerful this was for me. And I think the reason I say it was because I wasn't super involved in school at all. I know Mr. Hoshi knows a lot about this, but before this, I played basketball and I loved it a lot, but that was it. Like, I wasn't really involved in school. So for me, becoming an ambassador, the biggest thing that it really gave me was the opportunity to connect. And I realized that our district, our schools, and everything around it, there's so much opportunities and so many things to offer. Something like LCAP, I never would have known that was even a thing if it wasn't for this position. And I think I'm just really grateful because since I was the ambassador, I was able to share that with other people just like me who really had no clue. I can share that our new ambassador, he was in a similar position as me. He wasn't super involved. He played sports, but he didn't get super involved in school outside of that. But because of him being the new ambassador, he'll have that opportunity too. And he, in turn, can kind of inspire other people to take advantage of some of the things that our district offers. So I really want to share and just really am thankful that I had this opportunity because I think I can inspire some other people to really get involved and really learn more about our district. So thank you. Oh, I forgot. My bad. Yeah, so I'll be going to UC San Diego for college, and I'm going to be majoring in computer science. UC San Diego? Which college? The AIDS college. Oh. I was, yeah. You got it.
Hello, my name is Adrian Barrios. I'm a Hope Schools ambassador. I would like to thank the Board of Trustees for the chance to be an ambassador. I got to meet new people, to be more independent and have some fun. And no, I like when I got to greet people. I would like to thank Mr. Hoshi and the ambassadors and Brianna. Thanks to the experience. I have learned a lot. I will be going to transition to be a grocery man.
We are honored to know you. You have been a fantastic ambassador. Bravo.
Thank you. You can come on over here. Thank you. Oh, come on. Take more hands.
We all want to shake your hand and tell you congratulations. Come on down. Good job.
Okay, just had to make sure. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Roland Hernandez, and I proudly represent Catella High School as a student ambassador. First of all, I'd like to give a strong thank you to my advisors, Mr. Hoshi, Ms. Brown, and Ms. Vasquez for truly showing me what being a leader is. I would say that from the beginning of my junior year to my senior year, I've made the most character development and overall development that I have in my entire life. I would truly devote like this character development to the program and being ambassador, just because it's truly shown me what being a leader is. I never really truly had a definition of a leader until the end of my ambassador term. What I now think a leader is being someone being someone that people could look up to, being someone to guide people to a successful path, and truly being someone that could inspire others to pursue greater things that they already are doing. So if it wasn't for the ambassador program, I truly don't know where I'd be, but yeah, I'm very grateful for this opportunity and throughout this entire year to not only be part of the ambassador team, but to also meet the kind souls of all the ambassadors. So yeah. I will be going to nursing school at UCI, so I'm very happy. But yeah, thank you everyone.
Do I have to wait for him? Or?
All right, good evening, everyone. So I was told to be a bit brief, or else I would be literally standing here forever. But in short words, my name is Montador Al-Jadid, Monty for short, and I proudly served as a student ambassador at Magnolia High School for the 2022 to 2023 school year. And let me tell you this right now. Being a student ambassador and being the representative to the student voice at my school, I have learned a lot of things, and one of those being a student leader, but also learned the skill of being in leadership, being in servant leadership, as in obviously serving my students and making sure that their voices are heard, their concerns are heard, and also their assets are being looked at. Next year, I will be attending UC Riverside studying environmental science. And yeah, I'm excited to see what the new ambassadors do next year, and I want to thank you all for being a part of our journey. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Monica Michaela, and I'm really honored to be the student ambassador of Kennedy High School. I want to thank the board and also Ms. Didario and all my advisors for helping me to get through this year and being a leader in my school. It was a dream for me to be a student ambassador. I never imagined it. I went in. I always wanted to be there for students. I came here, I found a lot of people supporting me, and I wanted to be that support for other students too. I wanted to raise their voice. I wanted to make them feel that we're always here for them. And just being here, just learning all about the district and the deep work that our board put in and our teachers and all our staff here, it gives me a lot of going in. I know that they put a lot of work for our students, and just meeting a lot of community leaders and all of the people that I was able to meet through this year and have a conversation with, it really shaped who I am today. And it just made me who I am. It was a big part of me, and I'm really sad that I will be leaving this part of this position, but I'm sure that it's gonna be forever. It's gonna be there, and it's gonna be always keep going with all the work that Mr. Hoshi, Ms. Brown, and Ms. Vasquez put into this. I'm really honored to be here, and I really want to thank everyone. And I will be going to UC Irvine and majoring in biology next year.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael Flores, and I'm the Gilbert High School or Alternative Education Student Ambassador. And when I first started being ambassador, the one thing I had in mind was to break the stigma of Gilbert. Because as a Gilbert student, you really learn that what people say about it is not true at all. And throughout the year, we've earned many titles such as Model model continuation school, democracy school, and now the most recent one being civic learning award of excellence at Gilbert this last month. And I would like to say that I'm very proud to be representing Gilbert. Continuation school, regular school, it's still school in my opinion. And honestly, thanks to this program, I was able to help others see that Gilbert isn't bad. And I would like to also thank you all for the opportunity to be here, including you, Mr. Hoshi, Ms. Brown, and Ms. Vasquez. I am actually not going to college. I'm planning to go straight into U.S. Army after I finish high school.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ari Cardenas, Laura Student Ambassador. As a student ambassador, when I got the title of student ambassador, at first I was skeptical. I thought I wasn't prepared. I thought I wasn't a good leader. But as I grew, as the year went on, I grew so much. I saw so many people learn and so many people share their experiences with me. I saw them participate. I wasn't the only one with struggles. And I got to have restorative circles at my school, and I'm really proud of it. And I know that many other students feel they can connect with others and feel the opportunity they have the opportunity to feel included in every conversation. So, and I'm going to Cal State Long Beach to pursue aerospace engineering.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Reyes Olivas, and I am, my apologies, and I am Oxford Academy Student Ambassador. In years prior, I've been active on campus, but I don't think I've had a servant leadership experience as transformative as this one with this program. With this program, I was able to develop my public speaking, sharing the importance of the pledge with families around Anaheim. I've become a better collaborator leading Oxford Academy's RCP and coordinating summits, and I exercise my creativity working with our public information officer to publicize district events and highlight my community. I truly was able to develop in all 5 of the C's, and I became a lot more civic-minded in the process. And I think that has played a major role in influencing me choosing to study political science at UC Irvine this upcoming school year. So thank you to the Board of Trustees for supporting such an excellent program. And thank you, Mr. Hoshi, Ms. Brown, and Ms. Vasquez for being such excellent advisors. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Jenna Sade, and I'm the proud student ambassador of Savannah High School. First and foremost, thank you for having me here, and I want to thank the board for giving us the ambassador program. In my opinion, being an ambassador has been the most significant aspect of my high school experience, and it is not an easy leadership position. It takes a lot of courage to bring up topics that maybe most students don't, or generally talk about topics that most people don't like to bring up, and of course advocate for changes that our student body wants to see. But being the leader that I am, I definitely want to thank Savannah High School for that. I was raised into the leader that I am because of my teachers, because of my counselors, administrators, and because of my peers. And coming to school every day at Savannah High School, every day I felt like I came in with a sense of purpose, and my teachers showed me the value of education, and above all, AUHSD showed me the value of civic engagement and advocacy. As a student ambassador, I've had the privilege of having so many meaningful conversations with board members, with administrators, with other people in our district, and it's allowed me to advocate for my peers, you know, the people that I love, and it's my way of showing appreciation for Savannah High School, and it has led to my success today. And it has led me to the opportunities that I've taken advantage of that has allowed me to get into UCLA, where I will be studying civil engineering. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Brianna Dawson, and I proudly represented Western High School as their student ambassador this year. I would like to thank you guys first, the board, for empowering students like me to use their voice to facilitate change within their school communities. I'd also like to thank the ambassador advisors, Mr. Hoshi, Ms. Brown, Ms. Vasquez, for constantly pushing me outside of my comfort zone in order to help shape me into a leader. I've developed a multitude of skills from this program, but most notably, I think I've improved upon my public speaking skills through presenting pledge presentations at Anaheim Elementary School and sharing the amazing opportunities that our district has to offer. I will be taking all the skills and lessons I've learned from this program to UCLA in the fall as a biology major.
You guys make a mark this way and we'll step up behind you.
In a horseshoe. Any parents want to come up or advisors want to come up?
I thought it'd be pretty silly. It's pretty late. What camera to look at? The middle one.
Mark, come on in. No, with that.
Any more? All right, great.
Okay. Okay, we're missing a couple. Okay. Okay. Amkar did not share where he will be going next year, so I want him to tell the audience what his plans are.
So I'll be taking what I learned on the dais to Stanford University to learn political science.
All right. What a great group of kids. You are all to be congratulated for doing a good job. It's been a good year. And I am so proud to hear each one of you say that you have grown through this program. This makes it even more worthwhile. Thank you all for your service.
I can just add really quickly. I've been a board member for 5 months, and it's been incredible to get to know the student ambassadors and Almakar specifically, who sits to the left of me on the dais. And I'm definitely going to miss you all, but you'll always be my first group of student ambassadors. So thank you so much for everything that you do.
Okay.
The feeling I get from each and every one of you is love and kindness. And that kind of support will carry you through a joyous life. And you bring nothing but good spirits to this school district. And I just can't tell you how grateful we are for all of you and your parents, because you've had wonderful support in your families and your loves. Thank you. Thank you.
I echo all the sentiments that my colleagues said. I just really am enamored with all of you. There are a lot of firsts in this group, a lot of firsts, and that you started. And I feel kind of sorry for your for the next group, because they really have some big shoes to fill. We thank you so much. Gotten to know a lot of you this year because you really put in the work. And as my colleague said, that you've all said that you've grown. Aren't you kind of glad that you had some taskmasters behind you? Mr. Hoshi, he expected a lot from you, and I know it was because he knew that you had it in you to grow. He knew what you had, maybe you didn't know that you had inside of you. So I want to especially thank our advisors, Mr. Hoshi, Ms. Vasquez, Ms. Brown, for all the work that they put in as well. Bravo to you too.
I can say ditto to what my colleagues here said, but I'll first start with thanking the leaders of the ambassadors, Mr. Hoshi, Ms. Vasquez, Ms. Brown. We've seen over the years the growth of the ambassadors, and this year you ambassadors have done such a wonderful job. Just hearing you stand here at the podium and talk to us and the audience about what has happened through your ambassador term and where you're going. You projected yourself so well, and it came across as, if I was standing up there at your age, I wouldn't have known what to say or how to say it, but you've had great guidance, and you've really proven yourself, and you'll take it for the rest of your life. It's going to go with you, and it's going to really do you well in your profession, whether it's private industry, public, or in the military. It really is going to help you grow. So I congratulate you and your advisors. Thank you. Yeah, I have one more thing to pass out. I'm going to hand it to your advisor, but I'll mention what it is. It's a certificate from the County of Orange, certificate of recognition to, and then it says the person's name, in recognition of your service as student representative to the Board of Trustees. This is for Amkar. Then this, yeah. And then these here says student ambassador to, and then it will say the high school. So everything that I said before. And this is from Doug Chafee, Supervisor, 4th District Board of Supervisors, May 4th, 2023. And I'm going to hand these to Mr. Hoshi to hand out, or Mr. Matsuda will do that. Thank you. So we're now going to move on to item 6.3, which is the Jack Moore Award, California Association of Directors of Activities, and recognizing Mr. Paul Chilinski. So I think the ambassador should come back in the center again.
You mean
I'm sorry, I'm ambassador. Board members and student ambassadors. I'm sorry. So, Mr. Chilinski, would you care to come forward? You care? I'm glad you care.
Makes me nervous.
All right. This is the Jack Moore Award for the California Association of Directors of Activities. Jack Moore Award is a Lifetime Achievement Award named after CADA's first president, recognizing longstanding efforts on behalf of the organization in working with both student leaders and advisors, as well as serving CADA statewide. This year, Mr. Chilinski led AUHSD Activities Director, was the recipient of the Jack Moore Award. This is the highest award an Activities Director can obtain. Mr. Chilinski started his time in AUHSD as a student at Loara High School. After graduating and pursuing his credential, Mr. Chilinski returned to his alma mater to teach, coach, and become Loara's Activities Director. He has served the district over his entire career, creating a positive and thriving school culture at all of our sites, not just his own. He has mentored most of our high school activities directors in some way, and all of our junior high school directors. He has connected junior high to high school to unified programs and worked to call attention to how the work that they do changes the culture and climate of our schools. Paul has developed countless student leaders through his many years of teaching, served on the state and local councils of activities directors, and was the president of the California Association of Directors of Activities. His impact is far-reaching, and the message of his career is clear. Leadership happens when we work together. Congratulations.
I can make sure I didn't have to say anymore. You don't have to.
He's very shy and he doesn't want to speak, so that's okay.
I'm not that shy, but I'm going to say well, you left out I was a student of ball as well, so I'm a Blackhawk true and true. Lisa Eck and I were true Blackhawks back then. But I want to thank my colleagues for coming out, my high school director colleagues coming out. Hilda was once one of us until she moved on to the other side. My wife for coming in, and one of my former students who was once a former ambassador, Miss Gonzalez, who's in the crowd as well. I really appreciate the support that I get from not only them, but the district. Now moving on to the lead activities director position has been kind of a nice thing. Now that they're starting to see a bigger picture of what we can do, what we do. Yeah, I just said that. And you know, my girl Ari for doing a great job as ambassador, and all the ambassadors came before us, and all the friends that I have in the crowd. I mean, I know a lot of you from when you were instructional aides to teachers to who you are now. So I really appreciate everything that this district has afforded me in the last 3 years I have left in this career. So thank you very much. These are the dorks I call friends. This is my wife. All on three. 1, 2, 3.
Almost. Just wait until the noise subsides here. Oh. Always wonderful being able to recognize people. So next, 6.4, Anaheim Union High School District Counselors of the Year. The Board of Trustees would like to recognize the Anaheim Union High School District's School District 2022-23 Counselors of the Year. Nominations are submitted by past and present students of AUHSD, as well as families, staff members, and community members. A selection committee then had the very difficult challenge of reviewing the nominations and selecting 3 district counselors of the year who exemplified the best of the best. So first, Candace Dion from South Junior High. Come on down. You get to go into the middle. Congratulations. So a little bit about Candace. 23 years in AUHSD. And special contributions. Candace shows genuine care and support for her students. She is an active listener and creates a safe space for students to express themselves and their needs. She is approachable and available for her students. Candace makes it a priority to check in on students and their families. Past students have reported that they remember her presence and encouragement. which motivated them to focus on their own success. Congratulations, Candace. Next is Penny Hassis. Savannah High School.
You can tell him how to pronounce it correctly.
Okay, see, I told you, I said it right. Actually, they wanted me to say Penny Iota, so, but Penny's fine. Okay, 17 years in AUHSD, special contributions. Penny is creative and persistent with the support of with that she provides to students. One example is the Rebel Relaxation Room, which is a space where students can participate in a variety of calming and recentering activities. She is aware of the unique needs of individual students and provides supports that scaffold them towards a positive goal while acknowledging their challenges. Penny leads by example and cultivates resiliency and persistence in students so they can continue their personal growth. Congratulations. And last but not least is Elizabeth Grothy. Yes. Western High School Incubator Lab. 25 years in Anaheim. Congratulations. Welcome. Going out front. Special contributions. Elizabeth goes above and beyond to support students and help them succeed in their independent learning center program and to plan for a life after graduation. Some examples of support include providing students with information regarding FAFSA, helping them apply to college or trade school, and assistance with finding employment. She knows her students' stories and is flexible with their needs given their unique situations and circumstances. Elizabeth has encouraged students to do their best and speaks to them about the importance of getting their diploma. She has also dropped off and picked up student work when students are not able to attend school regularly. Elizabeth has also been named one of the 5 Orange County Department of Education School Counselors of the Year. Congratulations. Uh, 7.1 Student Representatives Report. Omkar Khatri, you're up. Your turn. Go for it.
Will do. So before I begin the report, I had a small thing to talk about. I remember before, during like my first or second board meeting, I talked about this, which was the preferred vote for the student representative. And I was sorry, I'm not close enough. And I was speaking about it with Mr. Matsuda, I think Mrs. Piercy, and a couple of the couple of the board members. And it was essentially that I know that the student representative isn't like elected in a conventional manner, and it's more like assignment. And I was hoping that for the upcoming student representative, if it could be considered to have a preferred vote for the student representative, which was basically just before any motion, just to give a small little, share some little insight on how it would affect students, which I know you all gave us the opportunity to do in like questions and such like that. But I know it was like a small little place that they created in the CSBA for the student representative to share insight for student impact. And I know, once again, it's not election-based, but I'm hoping it's something that can be considered by the board for the next student representative, which is Daniela, who I think is amazing and was very capable to share student voice in every action that's been taken by the board. But once again, thank you so much for allowing me to share student insight and giving propelling student voice forward. I really appreciate you all. So on to the student report. So up first we have Anaheim. So Anaheim High School Spring Dance Concert for 2023 was titled Diverse Cultural Voices. So from April 13th to 15th, Anaheim students performed at the Kennedy Performing Arts Center through interpretive and cultural dances. CVA. CVA's ASB organized an event where students had the opportunity to meet up at the CVA building and create appreciation cards for their favorite teachers and staff members. Cypress held the Every 15 Minutes program, which directly addressed the issue of drunk driving. So they had this whole setup where they simulated how it would feel like if we lost one of our own students to drunk driving. And it was very elaborate, and it really gave us a pang in our hearts to think about if one of our fellow peers was lost the next day. Gilbert High School hosted the Breathe Healthy Live Mindfully TUPE event, and it was hosted on Gilbert on April 5th. So students from across the district who participate in the Anaheim AVE program helped host this amazing event, and they had special guests, the Music Notes, performing. Catella High School held Catella Talks, which is an event inspired by TED Talks and allowed students to express and discuss topics they're passionate about, so things they're going for career and issues around the world that they're passionate about and creating change. Kennedy's Color Guard had their championships, and their varsity earned 6th place in the Scholastic A Division at the Long Beach Pyramid, and their JV earned 6th in the Scholastic AAA Division at Marina High School, so way to go Fighting Irish. Loera held a Battle of the Saxons, which was a time where during the week-long, each of the classes had little battles, and basically the seniors won, which is obvious because the senior class is amazing. I'm a little bit biased, but so that happened at Lower High School. Magnolia held the senior luau, where graduating seniors got to celebrate the culmination of their academic journey. They had a beautiful traditional dance while they enjoyed a meal. There was a hula dancer, and it was complete with vibrant traditional wear and live music. Oxford Academy's FBLA chapter recently took to Sacramento to compete in the FBLA State Leadership Conference. There they had over 70 members compete in different business categories, and they placed second in the state for how great they were. So they're looking forward to bringing even more medals home, especially at nationals. Savannah held their, since the first time since the pandemic, the Clash of the Classes, so very similar to Loera High School, where they had all classes participate in a dance competition to win the class trophy. So once again, the senior class won, because go class of 2023, and they got to hold on to the trophy until the next clash of the classes, which will be next year. And finally, Western. So 4 Western students joined together to begin painting a colorful mural in the College and Career Center. So it's vibrant, it spells out Western, and each letter contains a different symbol to showcase the program available to students. So once again, an ode to the AUHSD. And finally, thank you so much. Each of the ambassadors, or most of them, wrote a little thank you in their report as well. So once again, thank you so much for everything.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, next we have student speakers. Any Anaheim Union High School District student in the audience who wishes to speak, and I have 1, 2, I believe it's 3, 2. I have 2 speak forms from students. So the first one will be Lexi Roca. Lexi, you want to come to the microphone?
Good evening. My name is Lexi Rocha. I'm the president of Gilbert High School's GSA, also known as Rainbow Gladiators. I would like to share an important message and a very special invitation with you tonight. But first, let me introduce my classmates and support staff. My secretary, Liz Vargas, our classmate, Rochelle Ibarra, which is my cousin, our classmate and Gilbert High School student ambassador, Michael Flores, is here somewhere, and our GSA advisor, Ms. Fries, and our community partner from the OC LGBTQ Center, Stephanie Kumbacha-Van Dyke. Throughout this school year, GSA has been very active and civically engaged a student organization at Gilbert High School. Our club members have participated in many civic action events on our campus, like anti-tobacco and mindfulness events, democracy school and civic learning projects, and we have presented at staff professional development meetings. Our club took early action during back to school night last fall to organize a community service project to help homeless foster youth by supporting a local nonprofit called Foster Friends in Anaheim. There we set up volunteer service learning opportunities to help in the store. By helping our local community and participating in campus-wide activities, GSA has been able to create a more welcoming and affirming environment for all students, particularly LGBTQ students. As you know, students who feel welcome and appreciated tend to do better in school. We're proud to announce that all of our GSA seniors are graduating this year on May 23rd at the first graduation ceremony for all the district class of 2023.
We'd like to say thank you to each and every one of our board members tonight, giving us the freedom to be who we are. We believe our AUHSD board, district staff, and teachers set the precedent for what it means to support LGBTQ youth.
Today, we would like to formally invite you all to an event that we are hosting on our very own turf, the annual AUHSD GSA Pride Picnic. This is the first event of its kind that will take place in our district. Events that bring this district together are very important. This one aims to bring all GSA students clubs from across the district together so that all LGBTQ students and their allies feel connected together on a grander scale. We would be honored to greet and host all of you there. The AUHSD GSA Pride Picnic will be held during our district's Pride Week on Thursday, May 18th from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at Gilbert High School. Dinner will be provided. The event will include a ceremony, speakers, and activities. Instructions to RSVP are on the invitation. Please feel free to contact our GSA advisor, Ms. Fries, with any questions you may have. Thank you.
Lexi, I had a question. Lexi, I had a quick question. Are you all seniors, or what are your ages? Okay, so they'll be able to carry the work through next year. I love it. I love it. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Thank you for questions and presentation. Next is Kayla Martinez.
Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Martinez. I am an ASB student at Sycamore Junior High. I am here to talk to you about the problems we have here at Sycamore. The problems we have here at Sycamore are many students that are using marijuana, and there's no safety, and violent fights, which are normal at our school. It seems like nobody cares, and it hurts me to have lost trust. I've never thought I would go through so much in junior high. I was given Principal's Honor Roll Award this year, and I was given an award by Congressman Lou Correa for Youth of the Year. These awards keep me going to show me that being a good student and citizen is still worth it. As a student, I am disappointed and hurt that I am no longer able to trust my principal for many reasons. I feel sad to share this, but I was recently assaulted at Sycamore, and the other student who assaulted me did not get punished. I hope you can change the environment for future students so they don't have to experience what I experienced. I do want to thank all my teachers that have been supportive of me, and I am thankful that I have my mom, Linda Martinez, and teachers that have cared for me. But if I am here with you today is because I care. I care that this doesn't happen to another student. We need better policies that can protect us, and we need you to please listen to students' and parents' concerns. Regardless of what I've gone through and what my classmates have gone through, I still feel proud of being a Buccaneer. I hope that in the future I can hear great things about Sycamore, because regardless of what we face today, I believe that Sycamore can be a great school if we work to correct the things that we need to change. Thank you for listening. With respect, Kayla Martinez.
Thank you to all the students. We always welcome students come forward and express their opinions and their voice. It's very important for them in their education, and also it educates us as a board, so thank you for that. Next, we have some recognitions. We have Hilda Vasquez from Alta. She was in the audience. I'm not sure if she's still there.
Here.
Oh, there she is in the back. I was looking over here to the left, sorry. Lisa Eck from CTA. We have, my eyes are failing me, but we had Gail Karras, Kathy Kent, and Ligia Hallstrom from ROP. See one hand going up, so they're right in the middle. Thank you for being here. And Lauren Klesker, Fullerton Joint Union.
There's Gail.
There's Gail. I don't know if Lauren is still here from Fullerton Joint Union as a school board representative, all the way in the back. Very good, thank you. Thank you for being here. So, Oco, okay. We have Maritza Bermudez from Oco from here. Oh, she's sitting right in front of me. Thank you also. So we have reports from associations. We have anybody from APGA, APGA?
Lacey, I saw a hand.
I can't see. There's, okay, thank you. Come on down. I should have announced you too, but I didn't see you sitting there.
That's okay. Sometimes it's best that way. All right. All right, good evening. I just want to thank you for taking the time tonight to honor our AUHSD Counselors of the Year. Our APJ members are great examples of the work that school counselors do across our district with students, families, and communities on a daily basis. As I was reflecting on what to share tonight, what kept coming to my mind was that our community believes in the work of the school counselor. This was apparent during the LCAP process, where multiple groups shared their recommendations of keeping and reducing the caseload of school counselors. Community members voiced their opinion that decreasing school counselors is not something they support. As a district, we talk about student mental health, and oftentimes when we hear mental health, it is easy to go to the extreme, and in some cases it is necessary to do so. Hence why we are lucky enough in our district to have the support of highly skilled social workers and psychologists who are trained to work with our Tier 3 students who need that help. Yet, when we look at the majority of what our students need, data is showing that students struggle with motivation, they have anxiety about coming to school, they don't feel like they can graduate, and yet we wonder why attendance is the issue. The guidance lessons that school counselors teach touch all students, tiers 1 through 3, because all students need the basic foundation for how to work through social emotional issues that they face on a regular daily basis. And this is what a school counselor provides. I can only imagine the time that the board has spent trying to decide where AUHSD must make their cuts in order to be fiscally responsible. It is not something that I would want to be involved in whatsoever. Yet, when we speak to the core values and mission of AUHSD, which we start every district meeting with, number 5 of the core values states that our vision, mission, and core values are delivered primarily through instruction. So at a time when we are having to tighten our financial belts, it's not lost upon APGA that the 2 areas in our district that are facing the biggest cuts are our teachers and our counselors, the 2 groups that provide direct and indirect instruction to our students on a daily basis. AUHSD programs and partnerships are vast. There's no question about that. And while our partnerships and programs have increased over the years, we are about to decrease the number of those who work with these programs and partners to make them successful at the school sites. In order to sustain these partnerships and relationships, we need the people who have those connections. And school counselors are the direct connections for students, staff, community, and our partners. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Hilda Vasquez. Do you have? Yes, there she is.
Good evening, everybody. President O'Neill, Superintendent Matsuda, Executive Cabinet, students, parents, community here and also online. It is my pleasure to be here tonight to deliver my last ALTA report. As we enter the last few weeks of the school year, we find ourselves filled with emotions. It is truly bittersweet. Events such as SEMA-Palooza, student-led presentations, and capstone highlight the synergy of our collective efforts. It has been incredible to see and hear students share their educational journeys, their growth, their passions, their projects, and plans for the future, and their impact in our communities and workforce. I want to especially thank our teachers as we're about to celebrate Teacher Appreciation Week, and also our counselors as we're celebrating them tonight, our staff and faculty for their guidance and support for students. And of course, I'd be remiss if I don't mention our administrative teams at the sites. We get the opportunity to celebrate our wonderful students because we are intentional in designing authentic and engaging opportunities for students. School sites will finish the school year strong with end-of-the-year activities, as well as continue to prepare school programs, summer school programs, and classes. Lastly, as I mentioned, I want to thank you for your continued leadership and let you know that this is my last board meeting as I'm finishing my ALTA president term. But we have Miss Amanda Bean in the house in the back over there. You want to wave as president-elect, who will be coming up and doing the reports. I will, of course, still be in the ALTA board, but I just will not be the president. It has been my pleasure to serve AUHSD community and ALTA. Thank you.
Thank you, Hilda. We've always enjoyed your reports. We'll miss those, but we'll look forward to Amanda's reports. Give her good guidance. Yes, very good. Thank you. I don't know of any other association leaders here.
Nothing for us.
Okay. All right. All right. What about PTA? Okay. Okay. So next we have 8.1 AUHSD Community Schools. And we're going to have, who's that?
Do you want me to take it? I can introduce Carlos.
Sure, you can introduce
All right, well,
Carlos.
it is with great pleasure I bring up our Director of Community Schools and Family and Community Engagement, Mr. Carlos Hernandez. I know we have members of our district steering committee here as well that are going to be part of the presentation. They're going to give a great update on where we are with the community school efforts and where we're headed. So, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you, Dr. Fareed, and good evening, Board of Trustees, Cabinet folks in the audience, and folks watching at home. Thank you for the opportunity to share how our first year with 13 community schools is going, what our lessons learned are, and then share with you a preview of what is next and what is on deck for the coming year across the district around the community schools approach. I will ask if you could please hold any questions until the end, and then that way one of our steering committee members will be happy to answer those questions. So speaking of a steering committee, just give a big, huge shout out to our teammates here on the front. We have members of the steering committee, we have students, we have our parents, we have parent guardians, we have our teacher association, our teachers, community school coordinators, site and district admin, and we have our community partners made up of Los Amigos and OCO and City of Anaheim and Ocapica and the Samueli Foundation. So we start with our vision, as was mentioned before, we do believe that success is rooted in a commitment to a shared vision and a belief in the transformative or transformational potential of our community. And the community schools approach here in Anaheim Union is all about creating a better world through unlimited you. So today we're going to hear how our core values are tied directly to our community schools approach, and then share our journey and what's to come, all in 10 minutes. Right? All right, now I have 9 minutes, Mr. Matsuda, is that what you said? Okay. So our community schools vision is in front of you, and that approach provides and will continue to provide unique supports and services that fit each of the neighborhood interests, needs recommended and implemented by the school's community, parents, students, teachers, staff, and community organizations. It starts with our thriving students right in the middle, but it's not possible without the support of our adults in the lives of the students, families, schools, community, right? Along with our 4 community school pillars, as you see, and then the environment and the culture, all experiences engaged through the Career Preparedness Systems Framework. So I'd like to introduce you to one of our students, actually she's a student ambassador, you just heard from her, also sits on the steering committee, Evelyn, to take us through our next couple slides.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hernandez. And again, just thank you, AUHSD Board, because just publicly affirming your commitment to our community schools and the community schools approach, we really appreciate that, especially after adopting a resolution that stated its intent to continue pursuing and supporting the community schools model, which also leads to deeper work of visioning the what and the how of our community schools model and the collaborative work of our local education partners to co-write the community schools grant in early 2022 that also led to a $23 million award from the California Community Schools Partnership, CCSPP. I'm really bad with letters. And that led to 13 AUHSD community schools, which is incredible. And just, I'm not going to name all of them, but just the fact that we were able to get this is an incredible success. That is obviously thanks to all the hard work from all the people involved in this. And it has also led to a partnership with the City of Anaheim as well, with the reaffirmation of our partnership and unanimously passed a resolution to support the community schools approach. So thank you again, because we really appreciate this work. And I can say personally, just being part of this steering committee, I've learned a lot, and I've seen just the kind of support and how working together with different stakeholders, we can all achieve amazing goals. So thank you.
Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you for representing our students. This brings us to our journey. We're going to highlight 5 things, really go deep with a couple, and again, all in whatever less time. Our first bullet is talking about today, this year, educating, informing, and engaging our schools and our community across Anaheim Union. That is what's critical this year. We also affirmed our current partners and the importance of potentially, the relationship and potentially adding potentially new partners. Needs and assets, that street data, the local data that creates and initiates various data points to help us move forward on what is next and what is important to our local community. Collaboration around the systems and structures across our district centered around CPSF and then the whole child. And the last is the development of the community school site team. That was something that we were able to begin the work this year. And those members include the principal and teachers and parents and students, community partners, and site staff. So just to go deep on what it looked like to educate, inform, and engage, we started with celebrating the work around one of our models in community schools, and that is Sycamore. Then we heard from our superintendent, our state superintendent, Tony Thurman, to say how proud he is of the work that we are going to do and what's possible. We heard from our association president to talk about how important education and the teaching and the learning is connected to community schools. We heard from our students, Monty and others, about the work that student voice and how it matters to community schools. We heard from one of our community school coordinators, Tanya, about the work around services and bringing those connections into the systems and not silos. Our Diana Fujimoto, our coordinator for professional learning, talked about how important it is and that we lift up and develop connections around professional learning around our CPSF. Right? And then we continue to celebrate with our Mercadito over at Gilbert High School, recognizing the work that they've done locally to bring our permanent pantry to life with the support of Second Harvest. I'm going to bring up one of our parents to talk about uplifting community voice, and that is Jessie Alvarez.
Good evening, everyone. So our primary focus this year for 2022-2023 has been on the larger process of the Needs and Assets Survey. The data is reviewed district-wide via the LCAP process, and the sites via the community site, school site teams led by our community school coordinators and our community school teacher leads. Surveys are the starting point to identify patterns school-wide and district-wide. As you can see on the survey, the sheer volume of the data received from the surveys, starting with our parents, 14,340 surveys, staff 2,454, students over 17,000 surveys completed across our district. Using that data, now we've begun the community voice circles, and these are follow-up conversations to enhance our understanding of the data we see in the survey results and also to go deeper. And we've been hearing overwhelmingly from all of our community school coordinators and teacher leads how powerful these community voice circles have been and how it's such a beautiful tool to just really connect deeper with our families and our students and our staff. And all education partners are involved in this, our parents, our staff, our students, and our community partners. The steering committee has provided process support for our coordinators and our teacher leads for timelines, survey templates, training, and coaching. And that's like, that's the work that we're doing at the steering committee, receiving the input from our teacher leads and our site coordinators to really figure out how to best support and move the work forward.
Thank you, Jessie. So we talk about at the heart of the work around community schools here in Anaheim Union is the classroom, the teaching and learning, the instruction that happens in the classroom that extends out. See, Lali Sanchez, who was sitting right here just 5 minutes ago, had to step out, prior commitment, but Jeff is going to step in on behalf of Lali, one of our community school teacher leads, to share a couple of the slides with us.
All right, good evening, thank you. Sorry that I'm second chair tonight. Lali had a great message, and rather just than reading her notes and what she wanted to share with you, because she's at the site on the ground doing the work, I play more of a supportive role in that. I just wanted to think about, if you can go to the next slide, Carlos, is that all of us participated in many capstone panels this year, and we saw all the amazing work that our students were doing, and I know that was very refreshing and uplifting. And what I'm personally looking forward to next year is, as Jessie was talking about, understanding our school community, the voices of our students and our families and our staffs, and letting that be the driver for the work that we do in the classroom. As a history teacher of 25 years, it excites me to see that we can bring those issues, those concerns of our school community into the classroom, and as a teacher, let our expertise kind of drive that forward. So thank you, and we look forward to reporting back next year.
Thank you, Jeff. We talk about teacher leadership, and that's what's sustainable. In 4.5 years, when the grant runs dry, what is it that we're going to see? We're going to see amazing classroom instruction in the classroom and out. We've created systems that has dated back years. As you look at, the small font, different positions that you all said, yes, this matters so much. Ed Division support, our board support, you see different positions there. In the youth voice and purpose circle for our career prepared systems framework lies our community school teacher lead. Right, it focused there. You'll see that in the 5 C's of 21st century skills lies our 5C coach. And then technical skills, you see different leaders across the school campuses. So teacher leadership matters, and that's how we're going to sustain the work. All right. This slide brings us to sort of where we're moving towards, and then we're just going to quickly touch upon where we're going next. This talks about our learner progress, and it shares, if you look at the percentage of change around graduation rates, around A through G and CTE pathway completion, the percentage of growth from 5 years ago to where we are now, and we continue to do the good work. So remember, community schools for the grant is year 1. However, we've done progress and movement towards these kinds of success matrix, years ago. So you see the percentage change. CTE pathway, for instance, is 344% of a percent change from 5 years ago to where we are now. The last 2, we lead the state in the state seal of biliteracy and the state seal of civic engagement, and that continues to be the case, and we continue to grow that with the number of schools now becoming democracy schools. So what's next? Again, I'll just highlight a few of the bullet points here in front of you. We're going to talk about 8 schools that are remaining that are not funded through community schools yet. We'll talk about that in just the last minute. Intentional and targeted services based on local needs and assets, that will continue to be a focus. We're going to continue to implement a streamlined process to onboard new community partners. People want to partner with us because we're doing amazing work. And so that system has to be developed. A development of community partner hub, which I'll show you about. And then professional learning that continues, that's focused on performance task assessments, that's focused on civic engagement, and that's focused on our capstone, as Jeff mentioned. We're going to look at sustainability plan. Again, we got to think about 4 years from now. What is it going to look like when the funding runs dry? So we're hiring a medical billing technician that'll find funding that is available because of the work that all of our site staff are doing. And then we're going to continue to share in our journey as a model community school district. We had 80 participants today across the state come and visit because they're doing amazing work. Over 200 have visited across the state over the last few months. So you have that slide. Here are the 8 remaining schools. We applied for a community school funding, and May 18th, mark that calendar date down. That is when we will find out. State Board will make a decision, a determination of whether we get funded for the 8 remaining schools in our district that have yet to be, not yet, but soon. We'll receive some funding around community schools, and we will continue to do good work there. The last part of this is really the excitement that is happening around community partner hubs. Now, what you see in front of you is what Network Anaheim is using to find and to capture community partners that are in the community. Well, we're working with, there's a few options. This one is one option that we will continue to see. So if you were to go on that and click on the whichever button you want to see, it'll tell you who they serve, what schools are available, what kinds of services, and those school sites, they want to know, if they can reach out to them, they have the information there. That community hub is continuing to be developed. Check this one out, and we're going to just share with you. ROP in the house, they, along with the teachers are there, the support from ROP, Magnolia, Savannah, and Western students, is that this year they piloted some work around community schools. In the Career Pathway Internship Program, Public and Community Health, they developed an app. The students developed an app, and they used ChatGPT to create resources, to find those resources in the community. You see examples right behind us of what is possible from the student-led community hub. So again, that is what's possible. We're going to look at that heavily because that is student-led. That's student-driven, student-created. And so that's exciting about the development of the community hub. The last is instruction. As we mentioned, our coordinator for professional learning, Diana Fujimoto, will continue to lead, bringing our 5 Cs and our community school teacher leads together to develop and continue to develop around career preparedness systems framework. You see how important it is that our CPSF is thriving through the lens of community schools. Again, professional learning is going to continue to be a focus for us this coming year. And this is our aspirational vision. This is what we hope for. And dream of, and we continue to make this into reality by thriving students, thriving families, thriving communities, and thriving Anaheim, and soon the city of Cypress, and the city of Stanton, city of Buena Park, and the city of La Palma. Thank you. The fourth city that will again bring in additional resources based on the 8 community schools that are coming our way. And with that, I want to thank you for your time, and we are open and ready for any questions that you may have for us in the steering committee.
Anybody have any questions?
Yes. Have a few questions. First, I just want to commend the work of the Community Schools Steering Committee and site committees. I'm very proud of the work that y'all have been doing. As a graduate from this district, I know how impactful community schools would have been when I was a student, so I'm very happy that our district is doing this. I had a question on the affirmed current partners. Do we know how many partners we have, and how are they selected? Is it from our needs and assets, or do they come to us, we come to them?
Yeah. Kenny, why don't you come up? So community school manager. So how many partners we have, this is the vulnerability, right? This is the muddiness of it, because our directors in Ed Division and our folks in business and our folks over there all have partners. And you guys we have MOUs that are signed, right? And so we have this platform that we're using, but it's signed, and we keep things there. It's not necessarily public So our schools ask, well, how many partners, do we have any partners for this particular service, right? So that's the goal, is to make it public. So I can't tell you exactly how many, because of that reason, because we all have amazing partnerships that we've developed it's sort of in silos. And so that systemness is what needs to be developed. I don't know if anything else you want to add, Kenny?
No, we just wanted to share that we're hoping that next year we'll have a streamlined process where we'll be able to walk our partners through, our new partners through a system where we're making sure that we're following through the entire process of being onboarded to our district, and that we would have a database that's not only available for us internally, but for our community members to see and observe and notice all of the wonderful partners that we have available for them here at AUHSD.
Thank you. And then my second question, I'm very grateful for the City of Anaheim's resolution. I was just wondering if anything came out of that resolution with any support or funding, and then have we looked into maybe also getting a resolution with the other 4 cities in AUHSD?
So, and Joe Perez sits on the steering committee as the representative for the City of Anaheim, and that was integral. That resolution said his time is going to be spent sitting here processing with us and seeing what connections may happen. Just yesterday we were talking about one item, that will be, a partnership with the City of Anaheim. Joe?
Sure, great, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Joe Perez, City of Anaheim Community Services Manager. I manage the social service supportive programs for the city, the system of family resource centers, youth centers, teen centers, and community centers that we have here in support of our residents. To answer your question, yeah, it's the expertise and the networking that we bring. We're connected to what's called the Anaheim Human Services Network that has 103 partners, nonprofit, community-based, faith-based partners that work together with us through the collaboration process at the family resource centers. And so it's bringing that partnership to the community schools to expand the scope of services that could be provided now to our students and to their family members. And that's really important because we've tried working just with students and that doesn't work. We have to support the home environment to be able to work together so that we can create thriving students, thriving households, and a thriving city. So again, that's the piece that we bring. We're in this partnership and we're excited to be involved in this because as there was a slide previous that the mapping, that process is already happening through an initiative that we started, which is Network Anaheim. And the idea there is to create community hubs where any family living in any portion of the 6 districts within this city can actually access supportive services for any social service need, including rental assistance, including food access. I mean, you really name it. The city doesn't do it. We do a lot. We can't do it all, and so we rely on our partners, our community, faith-based, and nonprofit agency partners to be able to help us reach and support our households, our families, again, one neighborhood at a time.
Okay, thank you.
But I think Jessica was asking are we planning to make presentations to the other cities?
Yeah. So yes, we had an employee from City of Stanton invited to our steering committee or site leading and learning visit today, and so we met with 2 principals from Lexington and Cypress, and they're asking for that. Absolutely. So it makes perfect sense, right? To share in that. So the answer is yes. That is our next steps to be able to ensure that they are brought in. Not only representing the city of Anaheim, we represent 5 cities. So yes, the short answer is yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
So I understand we have some of our committee members going out to the community and giving presentations about what we're doing, what we're building. Yes?
School communities, yes, at every one of our schools, whether they were funded through community schools or not funded through community schools, one or groups of us went out and shared what's possible, including the 8 in terms of what was possible. School communities.
What has been the biggest misconception about what community school means?
Anyone have what is the biggest misconception?
Or what are we doing that other people that say they're doing community schools are not doing or doing?
I think the misperception is that it stays with, and it starts with and it ends with services, that it's all about services, bringing in partners, and then that's a community school, right? What we're trying to change, the hearts and minds and the culture of what's happening on the campus, in the classrooms, and outside of the classroom every day, every period, right? How do we welcome our students and our families? How do we welcome our staff? How do we ensure that we are building those relationships? That's what the needs and asset assessment showed, is that we needed to target the relationship building, how important that is. And so that's where it ends with most of the definitions of community schools. It ends with just services. Although important, what about what happens, after the grant is over? What about what's sustainable? What happens in the classroom? What happens to make connections to the real world, unlimited you component of the community schools approach?
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Appreciate all your work. Thank you so much.
So how are the parents in the community learning about a community school at their school or nearby school? What's being done?
Jesse's going to share on behalf of parents. Yeah, you go.
So all of our principals, with the help of their community school coordinators and teacher leads, have been incorporating this into their coffee chats. We've invited the steering committee to come and present at PTA, and so a lot of and we'll see a lot of even our site teams, we're kind of parent leaders across different groups as well, and we know too that parent to parent is one of our best tools to educate our parents. We've already built trust, right, with our parents at our sites, and so they would be, so every kind of avenue that we can. But I know a lot of coffee chats have been really helpful, because then the parents can ask questions, and the connections with their faces and their community school coordinators and their teacher leads, that's been a big part of it.
So for each, go ahead.
And just to end to that, Sophia reminded me, one of our parents, is that we have our community voice circles that are also going deeper with what we're finding from our surveys across the sites, whether it's Loera and South. I mean, we've had amazing experiences that we're hearing, that those community voice circles are digging deep as to what our voices of our parents, our staff, our students, what's resonating with them in terms of potential patterns that we see. At Sycamore, what we're finding as well, we have multiple student circles, parent circles, staff circles that we're finding in terms of incidences, concerns, and we're bringing that to light so we can do something about that and make some recommendations for next steps.
And those community circles are supported by Orange County Human Relations and other partners that the district has been supporting out of the general fund.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So do each of the school sites that have a community school, do they have a button on the website that says community school, so someone that doesn't know, they've heard the term and they want to find out what it's all about and what is offered and how to connect with whoever?
So all of that that's the area of growth for sure. The communication is resonating with people. That needs to be out there as efficient as you just described that, Trustee O'Neill. That's what is needed, right? The websites have information, but it's not systemized. There's pockets of silos. Amazing work happening, but it's not clear cut. You can't click on the button and you can't, right? So that's the goal and that's the hope and that's the work that we're going to be doing. The community school hub will help with that. Community school resource, our partners hub, will help with that. Okay. And that is in a year, we will have that.
So as Mr. Matsuda just whispered, he says that means no. So as we get there.
Not yet.
As we
know. Not yet.
Yet.
Thank you, Dr. Freed.
I know it takes time.
Support.
But as we get there, I think, I would hope that we're working with the cities, all 5 cities, so they could have a button on their website that says community schools, and the community could be clicking on that and finding out what is offered in our schools.
Gotcha. Perfect.
Is that something that can be done, Joe?
Joe. Everybody stare at Joe.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
And maybe, Joe, maybe some of our presenters can come to the city district meetings and present this. Yeah, thank you. It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your presentation. Very informative.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so next we have 8.2, District English Learner Advisory Committee, which is called DLAC. And Dr. Renee Bryant.
Yes, Dr.
Gonna-
Bryant. I'm going
to lead the way.
yeah, her and our DLAC team. So Dr. Bryant, it's all yours.
Hello, President O'Neill, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Matsuda, Executive Cabinet, thank you for giving us time to present our yearly DLAC report to you. And so it's my pleasure to introduce to you Natividad Vasquez from Catella. She is our DLAC president, and I really want to give her massive kudos because unfortunately our president is not here tonight. She is our vice president, so she's serving in part for Britza tonight. So we really appreciate you, Natividad, for coming. We really appreciate you. And I also want to bring up Amor. Amor is going to explain some things to you because Nati, as she's also known, is going to do her presentation in Spanish. And so all of you have devices, and so as our parents often have to use devices to write and to understand, tonight you're going to get that experience. You can just hold it up to your ear if you want. She'll also be behind you, so if you feel uncomfortable having it, then she'll still be behind you, but we thought that might be a little bit easier than having her try to shout behind you. So, Amor, take a minute to explain to them. Okay, perfect. Okay, I hand it over to you. And this is our clicker. Si quieres usar o quiere. Okay, okay. Si está bien. Okay. Hasta va a empezar aquí. Okay.
Buenas noches, presidente del Consejo Directivo, Mr. O'Neill, síndico, superintendente Matsuda y gabinete ejecutivo. Gracias por empoderar a nuestro comité asesor para estudiantes de inglés del distrito a que puedan darles el informe esta noche. Voy a seguirlo en español porque mi presidenta así lo iba a hacer y lo quiero hacer como ella lo deseaba hacer. Toma un equipo para asegurar que tengamos un DLAC exitoso. Nuestro equipo está de acuerdo, está creado por la mesa directiva, Laura Rodríguez, los equipos de traducción, interpretación, evaluaciones de lenguaje, equipos ILAC de las escuelas, la señora Araceli Chávez y la doctora Renee Bryant. Me gustaría presentar a la mesa directiva del DLAC 2022-2023. Presidenta, la señora Britza Mendoza, de Savannah High School. Vicepresidente, soy yo, Natividad Vázquez, de Catella High School. Secretaria, Liliana Bataz, de Loara y Magnolia High School. Liliana. Parlamentaria, María Alejandra Barbosa, de la Escuela Hub. Oficial de Relaciones Comunitarias, Marcelina Hernández, de Savannah High School, y la señora Sofía, de Sycamore High School, Junior High School. Sofía. Y Anaheim. Objetivo de DLAC. DLAC cumple con los requisitos establecidos bajo el título 3. Nuestro mayor objetivo en DLAC es asegurar que todos los estudiantes plurilingües aumenten su aptitud en sus idiomas y se conviertan en verdaderos plurilingües en varios idiomas. Queremos que nuestros estudiantes lleguen a ser plurilingües y estén empoderados para que puedan translenguar y que utilicen su repertorio lingüístico total. Estudiantes del inglés plurilingües son 5,966 estudiantes, que es un 22% de la matriculación total. Dominio en el idioma del inglés reclasificados son 12,460 estudiantes, un 45% de la matriculación total. Todos los estudiantes aprendices de inglés son 18,426, es un 67% de la matriculación. Tenemos un total de 67 lenguajes representados en nuestro distrito. Gracias a la labor de nuestros estudiantes, personal, familias y comunidad, durante los últimos 4 años,
Nuestra tasa de graduación para los estudiantes de inglés y plurilingües ha aumentado por un 8%. Nuestra tasa de cumplimiento de los requisitos AG ha aumentado un 5%. También hemos incrementado la tasa de los sellos estatales de la alfabetización bilingüe en un 8%. Los estudiantes de 12º grado han obtenido más de 10,000 sellos estatales de la alfabetización bilingüe. Tuvimos muchos logros este año. Anaheim Junior High School District va a implementar la inmersión del lenguaje dual del español en la secundaria South en el otoño del 2023 y en la preparatoria Catella High School en el otoño 2025. Los programas de ELD y DLAC de la preparatoria Anaheim fueron nominados y premiados con el sello de excelencia durante la premiación CABE 2023. Perdón, este papel me está poniendo nerviosa. Quisiera resaltar algunas de nuestras metas, objetivos y actividades de este año. Academias de liderazgo para padres de familia en inglés, español, vietnamita y coreano. Especialistas en relaciones familiares y comunitarias. Método de escuelas comunitarias. La Academia de Lenguaje Sabatino. Programas de lenguaje en varias escuelas antes y después de clases y los sábados. En la actualidad, Anaheim Junior High School District ofrece 8 idiomas mundiales: lenguaje de signos americana, árabe, francés, japonés, coreano, mandarín, español y vietnamita. Centro de bienvenida para los recién llegados integrado en el Centro de Evaluaciones de Lenguaje y en el método de las escuelas comunitarias. Utilizar los módulos para la capacitación profesional BELIEF para que todos los maestros desarrollen la capacidad para aumentar el logro de los estudiantes de inglés y los plurilingües. Capacitación profesional sobre California's Together para apoyar los estudiantes recién llegados y refugiados. DLAC quisiera resaltar las siguientes recomendaciones para la mesa directiva. Continuar fortaleciendo los ILACs de las escuelas. Continuar proporcionando capacitaciones sobre el liderazgo de los padres y administradores de ILAC, EL y PL, y los coordinadores de EL, PL. Organizar la colaboración entre DLAC, ILAC con otros grupos de padres y organizaciones comunitarias. Crear un comité para los padres de estudiantes de educación especial, similar al de DLAC. Continuar apoyando y ampliando los servicios del trabajo social. Continuar apoyando el trabajo en torno a los módulos BELIEF, observación de EL, juego de herramientas EL, proyecto Learn, y aumentar la capacidad de los maestros para disminuir la brecha de la oportunidad y aumentar el acceso y éxito de los PL y EL. Recomendaciones para el Consejo Directivo. De parte de la doctora René Bryan, DLAC les pide que reciban el plan plurilingüe maestro de Anaheim Junior High School District. Y claro, todo este trabajo nos lleva a la meta de lograr que todos nuestros estudiantes se gradúen y que obtengan el sello estatal de la alfabetización bilingüe. Los oficiales de DLAC 2023-2024 cumplirán su segundo término el próximo año escolar. Las elecciones de DLAC se llevarán a cabo en abril del 2024. Finalmente, les queremos agradecer nuevamente. Gracias por todo el apoyo que le muestran a las familias de Anaheim Junior High School District. Tenemos hijos en otros distritos y no nos tratan de la misma manera. Verdaderamente, este distrito nos hace sentir respetados y empoderados. Muchísimas gracias. Buenas noches. ¿Alguna pregunta?
Neda, you did a fabulous job. Fabulous job.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask you, with all of the trainings that you've done, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but what has been like one of the highlights that you've enjoyed?
Yes.
La Academia de Liderazgo nos ha hecho unirnos más con los padres, escucharlos. De hecho, disciplina positiva, también el taller de disciplina positiva. Lo acabo de recibir, les voy a decir la verdad, nunca había estado en Sycamore High School. Recibí este taller ahí con la señorita Susi y la face de Catela, Michelle García. Y es bonito porque te une con otros padres, por ejemplo, a mí de Sycamore, y convives y compartes tantas experiencias. En lo personal, esas 2 clases y la de mindfulness son maravillosas. De hecho, terminamos la clase de disciplina positiva y quedamos tan entusiasmados los padres que seguimos con un proyecto que ahora le pusimos Aprendiendo Juntos, Learning Together, y nos seguimos reuniendo los miércoles en Sycamore para platicar de cosas que no, porque después de la pandemia sí hubo muchos problemas mentales, tanto a los padres como a los alumnos, y como padres siempre de las experiencias personales aprendemos más y estamos más unidos. Después de que nos juntamos cada miércoles, nos han estado llevando a los psicólogos de ahí de la escuela, nos dieron una clase, ahorita estamos trabajando porque es el mes de la salud mental. Ayer estuvimos trabajando, estuvimos platicando de los proyectos que va a haber en Sycamore, estuvimos haciendo moños verdes y estuvimos disfrutando. Y para eso, pues, ustedes saben, como comunidad latina, que tráete el pancito, que tráete la comidita y se hace más efectiva esa relación con otros padres. Eso es lo que a mí me ha marcado.
Appreciate that. We see you, we're board members, and we see this collective group at almost everything that we do. You're there, you're the heart of our district. You guys work so hard every day, and to hear that you're taking this even and doing it on your own is just tremendous. We commend all of you. I know you were put on the spot today. We really appreciate that for speaking on behalf of DLAC. But I just want to thank you personally because I know how hard you work. We've seen you support our district for so many, many, many years, and you're also supporting each other, and I think that's just a beautiful thing. You're a perfect model for all of our parents.
Thank you so much. It's like Araceli said, we are veterans. Thank you.
Más quiero decir muchas gracias por su presentación y todos que son de parte de la DLAC. Muchas gracias por su servicio.
I'd like to take a photo.
Could the board take a photo of the DLAC?
Are we finished with the presentation? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, absolutely.
They'd like to take a picture of the DLAC.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
You were great. You were great.
Used to work with her little senior, her big senior.
Hey, don't be shy.
I know, like, how does somebody stay so young?
Thank you, DLAC Group, for the presentation. Very, very educational. So, moving on. Next, we have public comments, open session items. And this is opportunities for public comments occur at the beginning of each agenda item, and at this time, for items not on the agenda, persons wishing to address the board will fill out a form, and I have 4 forms, and each person is allowed 5 minutes, and there's a timer here that the parliamentarian controls. The first person to come up is Paola Gonzalez.
All right, hello board and community members. My name is Paola Gonzalez. I am an alumni, I am a teacher, and I am still a community member here. And what I would like to start with is just thank you for allowing me to speak. And the reason I'm speaking today is just I was looking through the agenda that you have in front of you today. I noticed something that was just a little bit unclear that I wanted to address. There is an informational item about the new board policy on the animals allowed on campus. This is a board policy that I completely agree is overdue and that the district needs a little bit more guidance on. However, the confusion came in looking at the actual exhibit and the wording for the policy. It has the impression that the district is closing the door to allow therapy dogs, facility dogs, and other dogs in those categories to be on campus, which I believe would be an extremely valuable asset to our schools. Many people aren't familiar with the difference between what is termed service dog in the policy that is exhibited versus all these other groups that we have. So I wanted to make sure that there was that distinction. The board policy exhibit says only service dogs would be allowed, and therefore I would recommend that the board maybe consider something that's a little bit more comprehensive. The other service dogs, quote, service dogs, aren't technically under the ADA laws, but they still provide very valuable services to our school. You can ask students about the efforts that they see in the mindfulness that the schools are pushing. The dogs have been supporting that. They will support the community schools needs assessments that have been shown through all the surveys that they were just mentioning. They would support the work that our social workers and our psychologists are doing with the mental health of our students. And therefore, again, I'm hoping we can consider a more comprehensive plan that would allow some of these other groups that have the training, that have the insurance policies, that have the vetting that would be needed to allow a still safe environment on the school. And again, it's a way to model the community service efforts that we try to instill in our students. It's a way to model the civic engagement that we try to model in our students. And this is one of those ways that I hope we don't shut down. So. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your observation. Appreciate it. Next speaker is Linda Martinez. Ms. Martinez? Yeah, there we go.
Good evening. As many of you know, I'm Linda Martinez. I've been advocating for education for more than 20 years. I am currently a school site council representative parent at Sycamore Junior High. And there are so many things that I am here for today. It is important for you to understand why parents feel and act the way that they do for quality education for their children and for great school environments. I'm disappointed that we have not been heard. Jessica, we need you to act promptly to the safety concerns that have been addressed to you at Sycamore and at Anaheim, High School, at the different capacitos where we've met. I am here to support my daughter and request for better policies to protect all students for the assault that happened to my child, not to ever happen to another child. Mr. Matsuda, Mr. O'Neill, Jessica Guerrero, and Mr. Saldivar, when we address you, please do not ignore our concerns. When I send you an email, please just at least acknowledge that that you received my email. I hope that you do respond to what I have to address today. Like I said, safety is one of the main things. Drugs, marijuana smoking, and vaping in the classrooms. Recently, there were things like this happening in Mr. Soria's classroom when he was absent. We cannot ignore these things. I know some of you don't like to hear these things, but you are elected officials. There's physical assaults and sexual assaults at Sycamore, the lack of safety at Sycamore Junior High. And during this time, I have been a volunteer, and I have noticed all the negligence that our students are experiencing. Parents have been silenced, students' voices have been silenced, teachers' voices have been silenced, which, my heart goes out to our teachers because they are the ones who I trust my child to. We need to restore the safety of Sycamore campus and not ignore parents' concern. I presently have lost all trust in my principal's leadership and Sycamore administration team because of the lack of action and response. We request a more experienced principal to avoid the situations we face, who can lead us, who can lead our school. Recently, we had our principal storming out of the school site council meeting, showing a great amount of unprofessionalism to the parents who attended. This is why we need experienced principals who can represent AUHSD better. Mr. Matsuda, we need you to respond and give us answers to the situations we face. And if you're not able to do so, then we need change, because the safety of our students is not to be bargained or negotiated. It should be the most important, and I want to say that again, it should be the most important, thing for the best interest of our children. As I speak to you, I feel that we have no one we can go to for answers. We cannot continue without accountability from our school principals and AUHSD superintendent and staff. I urge the board to please help us parents with this situation to restore the trust, the hope that we have in you to guide us and to restore this trust that we have lost, and help the future students of Sycamore have a better experience than the one that we have had this year. I also urge you to protect all students and to, especially the ones who have been assaulted, whether physically or sexually. It is important that they have the correct support at the school and coming from their school staff. Having experienced principals who can lead our schools with experience is vital for the success of all of our schools and for the best interest of all of our children. And like I said, many of you have heard me here on this board, and never once have you ever responded when I speak. I hope that this time you do reach out. Thank you very much.
Next speaker is Janelle Needham. Ms. Needham? Okay.
Good evening, Board President O'Neill, members of the Board of Trustees. My name is Janelle Needham, and I'm here on behalf of the Office of Supervisor Doug Chafee. Our office would like to let the Anaheim Union High School District know that 10th and 11th grade students about the 4th District Future Leaders Program. The program is designed for current 10th through 11th grade students who reside in the 4th Supervisorial District, which includes the cities of Anaheim, Brea, Buena Park, Fullerton, La Habra, Placentia, and Stanton. Students who participate will be able to develop their leadership skills, explore different career opportunities, and learn how local government works, including taking tours of 2 county agencies, the OC Waste and Recycling's Brea Landfill and our OC Sheriff Coroner's Department. And at the end of the program, students will receive a certificate of recognition from our office. The program is over 6 Saturday sessions from Saturday, June 3rd through Saturday, July 8th, from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Fullerton College. The deadline to apply is tomorrow at 5 p.m. I also have some flyers here that I can leave in the back. And the application can be found online at d4.ocgov.com. If anyone has any questions about this program, please feel free to call our office at 714-834-3440. And we've also set up an email for this program, d4.futureleaders@ocgov.com. Thank you for this time.
Would you be able to extend the deadline?
We may, yes.
Yeah, because it's one day.
Tomorrow.
That's going to be
Yeah.
very difficult to get people.
I think we might keep it open too. So if anyone has any questions, they can call our office too.
Can we get that up on our website, or?
You said you have flyers?
Yes, I'll leave some flyer. If you want some, I can bring some up, but I can leave them in the
Can
back.
you do that, please?
Okay. Thank you. Of course.
I think I have that in an email that was sent to me, so I could send it to John.
Okay, all right. Next speaker is Jacqueline Cisneros.
Hello, board. Hello, community members. My name is Jacqueline Cisneros, and I am the choir teacher at Orangeview and Western Junior High. And I was coerced by Miss Moreno over there to kind of present what's going on at VAPA at Western High School and just kind of share what we've been doing. And I'm very honored to represent such a great VAPA staff at Western. Miss Moen, as you know, she has been doing murals and continues to do a lot of work using all the 5 C's. We put together a little slideshow. We weren't able to get that to you, but if you do want it, we have it. Miss Kirby is doing ceramics. She's taken the kids to this really cool American Museum of Ceramic Art, and the stuff that they create is absolutely amazing. Miss Denon, you probably have seen her color stuff at Color and Light. A lot of her students have gotten accolades with her alebrijes that she did for the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, yeah. So it's really, really cool and just amazing work there. And our instrumental staff with Ms. Hench is just off the charts. Lots of superiors in all the ratings representing our district and the school very well as a senior, David Jimenez, was accepted into the world champion Blue Devils drumline and bugle corps. So really cool accolades going on there. She has a Pops concert coming up. And then me, the choir is tiny but mighty. That's what I like to say to them. I am just so proud and so honored to be a teacher, a choir teacher, to see and watch their confidence grow as well as their vocal ability. This year we did the Angel Stadium, and we went to 2 workshops where we learned barbershop music. I like to give them a breadth. So they sing classical to jazz to pop to barbershop. We did that at Jordan High School as well as Orange Coast College this year. And we sang in 2 festivals where we placed excellent. And one of our crowning achievements this year was this 9th grader named Heidi Pluger. She came into my classroom like the breeze, and I was like, "Where are you from?" And she's like, "I'm from here." And I was like, "Really?" And her voice is absolutely stunning. And so I put her in the SCVA vocal competition, and she is now past the first round, and now she's going to the second round. She sang in the Pops category as Over the Rainbow, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and we put up her video, and she is the only school that represents AUHSD, along with a long list from Southern California, but we're representing us, and so I'm just super proud of her and just so honored that she is a part of my choir. And so I just want to thank you for all your continued work in the arts, coming from different districts, and this is my 50th year teaching, and so I've seen a lot of not so much support, but that's not you guys. Mr. Belsky and others have just super supported us, and I'm just so honored and just so thankful that we have that support. And I'm looking forward to see what the future lies ahead for Western and the arts at Western. So thank you so much for listening to me, and hope you have a great evening.
Bravo.
Thank you.
I had a question. What does the competition you gave that SCV?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. We just don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's Southern California Vocal Association, the
Okay.
oldest in the state. It's even older than the AD, another acronym group. But yeah, just super old and super well established. So the fact that she made it to that second round is saying a lot.
Wow. We'll give her our best.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, please send us the information. Thank you for
Awesome.
coming.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Love it.
listening.
And thank you for all your work. I know that's difficult, but we appreciate all the time you're putting in. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Good call. Dr.
Okay,
Moreno.
moving on to items of business. 10.1, resolution number 2022-23-HR-11, classified school employee week, May 21st to the 27th, 2023.
Second.
Third.
We have a motion and a third. Okay. Make that a second for the records there. All right, this is a roll call vote. Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
Ms. Piercy?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo?
I vote aye.
And I vote aye. 5-0. Thank you. 11.2, resolution number 2022-23-E-23, enhancing supports and resources for our LGBTQ+ students.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? Seeing none?
I just want to thank the district for always supporting all of our students, and this is the all.
This is-
So thank you.
Yeah.
I love this.
Parts make up the whole. That's right. So roll call vote. Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
Ms. Piercy?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo?
Aye.
And I vote aye. It's 5-0. 10.3, resolution number 2022-23-HR-10, certificated reduction in force. This is a roll
So
call
moved.
vote, and we need a motion
So moved.
and a second.
Second.
Unfortunately,
Sad second?
Yes, sad
That's,
second.
I think, all sad. Okay. Roll call. Ms. Guerrero?
Aye.
Ms. Piercy?
Aye.
Ms. Smith?
Aye.
Ms. Randall Trejo?
Aye.
And I vote aye. 10.4, new board policy 91-105, in parentheses, 6163.2, animals on campus. This is first reading, information only.
I have some comments.
Go for it.
Okay. I was extremely unhappy when I read this, okay? I'm sorry, but I felt insulted. I can't believe that it came, I know they say this is just the first reading, but I'm very happy we had someone come up and mention it. I invited Tony Stroud from Loera to come and speak to us about therapy dogs, and there was nothing in here. Total negation of all dogs except service dogs, and I was amazed. I was flabbergasted. I just think it's totally wrong. And also, today I had the opportunity to talk to the principal at Cypress High School, and she has a young lady who's not doing well. And the social worker was talking about bringing in maybe a therapy dog or something, someone to help comfort her. And then Jennifer was telling me that the SRO is in contact with Garden Grove, and the SROs have like a therapy dog they bring with them and do work. And she said not only does Garden Grove have them with their SROs, but Seal Beach also has, this thing. So there are several other districts that are utilizing the idea of therapy dogs, especially now. Our kids are hurting. I'm sorry. We have it's like Mr. O'Neill mentioned earlier, there have been more mental issues in our district this year than we have had in the last 25. It's just, unfortunately, it's the time. And here is something we can do along with our social workers, along with our counselors. It's not, it's something that would be on a limited scale. But to say no dogs except for actual service dogs, we can do a lot more lining it up. I know part of this is the idea of risk. In other words, it's the idea we could get sued if something happens. Well, we're not allowing, it's obvious we don't allow people to bring their family dogs on campus. That's not acceptable, and we can specify that type of thing. But let's not exclude something which is becoming more and more utilized. And, it's a controlled environment. They would be in a controlled environment with a trained handler, dogs that are trained. I'm sure we would have to make sure they've got certificates of training. In other words, not just somebody that, their dog is good, but because to a person who owns a dog, they're always good. but that dog just has to find one person he doesn't like, or she, and, nip at him, and then we could have problems. But
Ms. Percy, would you like to make a recommendation to revise this?
redo this one. I don't, it's a first reading, but it needs a lot of work. And I mentioned other principals bringing this up, and having one of our teachers did an eloquent job. Thank you very much. I was so happy when you got up and said all that. Okay.
Okay, well, let's give a direction to staff to relook at it and bring back.
Yeah, look into this, because I think this is something a lot of our social workers and could be utilizing, or our SROs, in other words.
Okay.
But, now I thought, okay, they're supposed to come to Cypress High School next Tuesday.
Who's that?
The Garden Grove SROs are bringing the dog to show and, demonstrate and work with the counselors and social workers at Cypress. And so they're kind of doing a demonstration. And I wanted to go, but I remembered I've got another meeting that time, but it'll be sometime Tuesday morning. If anybody's interested, contact Jennifer Brown and she'll let you know.
Anna, well, I totally understand. I've even been a recipient of having therapy dogs on, when they brought in puppies to our a class, but this was many years ago. The folks that have allergies, one hair gets in, there's a lot of things that we would be liable for. How would you control that?
You don't do that without permission. It's like anything else. In other words, if a student is going to be, I am sure the social worker or the counselor would be talking to the parent beforehand, or the student. So, I'm sorry, I am not going to run away from every new idea that could be helpful to our kids, because there might be one kid who's allergic. Well, he should stay away. In other words, but we aren't going to bring a dog in for that student who's got allergies, because it's not, and we're supposed to know that. Your nurse is supposed to know every problem you have a student that has. And a good nurse at the school campus has a record of every kid's problems. So if anything comes up, they have a record.
So, like I said, controlled environment, it would only be in a certain part of the...
Right, it's not in the general school. It's not opening up and into the campus or whatever. This is a set instance. In other words, it's a reserve, it's an established time and situation.
Something to look into.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, that was 10.4. 10.5, Agreement, City of Cypress.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing
No, that's pretty
none.
neat. Okay. I'm very proud of my city, cooperating with us and working together and sharing the use of that
MOU?
marquee.
Oh, that.
I said MC,
Yeah.
marquee. Yeah.
I do have a question on this, on the Cypress Marquee. On the
Oxford.
Oxford Academy. That was put in, I don't know how many years ago, as electronic, and it was shared by one of the organizations on campus, helped make a donation or pay for part of it. And I was wondering, why now? What happened to that marquee? Or do they just age out and you have to replace them, or what?
Yes, good evening, by the way. So yes, it's just one color right now, and it's still working, but with our funds that we have with Measure H, we want to go ahead and upgrade all the marquees that we have in the district, and Oxford would be one of them, including Lexington. We would be using the existing platform. We want to keep them under certain height, under 8 feet, and they would just be placed. We remove the old one and put the new one in. On the same base. So it's just that it's a matter of, they're kind of aging out, so this would be the right time. And then City of Cypress approached Nancy for maybe to contribute towards a new marquee, so they could also have a shared use with it.
Okay. And it was mentioned that how they will be able to put information onto that marquee. Do they have to go through the school, or do they have direct access to it?
They would have direct access. So there would be a license for two, one at the school and one with the city, and they would work together to figure out the use. It's mainly in the evenings, the city would be using more of it, and during the day it would be the school, but still the city would have an opportunity to scroll some information.
So if there was an emergency in the city, they could flash
Yes.
something up there, knock us off and put something up?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the approximate cost of a marquee, whether it's on that campus or some other campus?
The equipment only, it's about $45,000, and then obviously there's the cost for installation, so it's a little bit more.
So about double, probably?
Probably,
Okay,
yes.
that was a good
Close
guess.
to-
Somebody
close to
asked me
double.
yesterday, and I told them 75 to 100,000.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
That would be the amount for maybe a brand-new one, I mean, rather than, because right now, we're using the monument that is, the base, right? And my question was, are these marquees going to be any bigger than the one that was there before?
Because we're using the same base, it's going to be pretty much the same size as the existing. The only thing is, of course, the quality
Right.
is going to be much better. It's going to be color. So it's an upgrade. It's just new technology.
Okay, I'm trying to remember how big it is. Is it, okay, would you know, is it the same size as the one Lexington has?
It's yeah, it seems like they were installed at the same time. They
Uh-huh.
look very similar.
Okay,
So it's going to be the same size, placed on the same base.
Right, okay.
Okay, thank you. So, any more questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. 10.6, facilities use agreement, City of Cypress.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions on that? See,
No, I had that question answered.
okay.
I was trying to remember, okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I was going to say something.
Oh.
Aye, I said aye.
Opposed? Okay, 5-0. All right, 10.7, facilities use agreement, City of Anaheim.
Didn't let me talk.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, I had a
I was
few
going to
questions.
discuss 10.6, but that's all right.
Oh, well,
Well, I wanted to make comments about the fact that I'm very proud of my city and cooperating, and the city has a very robust softball organization, and it has tons of girls, and they're both from, both from Orangeview, from Walker, and from Lexington, that, play in the softball thing. And this is something I wanted to bring up, because in this agreement, okay, we're going to be borrowing Walker's fields, okay? And, but what Walker has is one softball field and then two baseball fields. And I called Alta Duke about the Continental Little League's fields, and how they, had utilized those. But I found out something. This is what I wanted to point out. Do you know that we have intramural girls softball, but we do not have any boys baseball? In school. Okay, either one is in school. Instead, in the PE classes, they don't play baseball and softball. You know what they play? Whack-it-ball. Whack-it. They take a tennis racket and a tennis ball, and that's what they hit with. They run the bases like they're hitting softball or baseball, but it's called whack-it-ball. Because on the junior high level, unfortunately, they don't trust the boys or the girls with bats. The boys, they don't trust the boys, because they're going to get out there and hit each other. So there is no PE classes that play baseball or softball. It's all intramural. And there's no intramural boys baseball either. It's just girls softball.
Wow.
Now, I didn't know that, and I had to laugh when she told me about whack-it-ball, and that's what they play. Now, because my granddaughter's going to Walker now, and she just made the softball team. And I said, well, do you guys play during class? She said, no, we play whack-it-ball. And I go, okay. So this is just something. So we have those two, okay, but what I was getting at, the Walker Field has not been utilized since 21, I think, or before. Actually, it was it was right around the early 200s, because when we banded Continental Little League, those fields are basically not used for anything other than maybe a class go out there and do something on the field. So I'm really happy that we've decided to work this out so that Cypress City is going to be redoing Cypress Arnold Park, which is the home of girls softball. And it's crowded. It's a nice sized little park, but it's just too many kids out there playing at the same time. And so they've been trying to get the use of Walker's Fields for additional space to practice, and that hasn't worked. But now the city and Anaheim District are working to let them use our the Walker Field for the girls that are mainly our girls anyway. You know, they go to our schools because they're all, you know, well, the 12-year-olds are all, you know, some of them are coming up from elementary school because they've got ages from 6 to 14 playing softball.
I have a question. Dr. Free, when you were an AP there at Walker, was there baseball, softball for boys, girls?
There was no baseball in intramurals. It's always, even when I was a student, there was no baseball for intramurals. And that was,
That's been a long time.
well, thank you, yes.
No, I mean that we haven't played.
Thank you, yes, it has been. Yeah, so there was never, at least since I've been here, baseball for intramurals.
Yeah.
There's always been softball. And in PE, I don't know that wacquetball was there when I was a student, but I do know and Mr. Saldivar, Mr. Hernandez can tell you, there's a skill to hitting a little ball with a baseball bat or a softball bat, but for a lot of our students who are in PE, not all of them are athletes per se, so the racket does allow for differentiation. More kids have access to hitting the ball successfully versus the skill set of a true baseball bat or softball bat in a baseball.
I remember playing that when I was in 5th grade, 6th grade.
Yeah, and when I was there, I remember kickball, which didn't have a bat, it was just your leg, right?
Yeah.
Kicking it, so.
Oh, so that's part of it too.
But for
Then I
Continental
didn't
Little
think
League,
about the agility part, but that's a good,
And I remember being an AP at Walker, we did have Continental Little League there at that time. And I think it was shortly after I left it, they were removed because of just the way that they were not caring for the field at that time.
Right, and there were other problems, but that was, okay, what I tried to get from La Palma was whether it was part of their Parks and Rec or whether it was something entirely different. And she said, no, it wasn't anything to do with the city. But she said, they're entirely different. I mean, they're part of another national group. So they were basically renting the field from us. I mean,
Continental Little League?
Continental Little League?
Yeah, it was a separate deal with the district. The city didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, it wasn't the city, it was the league.
But it was interesting because Alta said her husband was part of the group that built the snack bar, the snack building there. Yeah.
Well, and that was done prior to me being there, but I do recall there were some issues because they were given a lot of flexibility to build and do things on that campus, even with their scoreboard that never went through, well, Patty wasn't here at that time, but yeah, they were done without all the proper protocols and ADA all the regulations that Patty and her team are expected to go through. They didn't follow necessarily yet. If something should happen, an outlet burst or whatnot, we're liable since it's on our campus. So those are the kinds of things that they were doing without our permission, that in addition to the fields not being cared for properly. Or trash and things in the dugout that were inappropriate, so.
Well, and I was glad to see in this agreement about the trash, there was something about, oh, that was in the next one. I mean, not this one.
Okay, 11.7, 10.7. Did you have a question on 6?
10.7.
Okay, 10.7, we have questions
on
now.
to 10.7.
We have a motion and a second now.
Okay, I had a few questions. If Patty, if you can come up, thank you. I know this agreement is a little different than the City of Cypress because I believe Sycamore Junior High School is looking to be used as a park-like usage. And I know open space is important, and the City of Anaheim is stretched thin on its open space, hence the agreement in front of us tonight. So I just wanted to ask, the amount of $50,000, how was that determined?
So we had our operations manager, Quentin Riles, estimate the typical maintenance that we would typically do on a field or fields on a yearly basis. So he went through all the numbers, all the different activities that would take place in order to do a yearly maintenance. And that was times basically all the different fields that are part of the agreement, which 3 schools, right? So we have several fields. And the estimate was about $50,000. So that would cover for the year, and then obviously we would be looking at potential escalation, right? Because as it's yearly and costs go up, we would be revisiting that.
Okay, that was going to be my second question. Are we able to revisit that in
Yes.
case? Okay.
Yes.
And then specifically to Sycamore Junior High School, I wanted to, I think I read through the agreement there, the city of Anaheim was going to be in charge of picking up trash pickup as well as providing portables. And I just wanted to make sure that they would be responsible for any, who would be responsible for any vandalism? As I know some of this, it's going to be used during weekdays and weekends prior to school, students returning to school. Who would be in charge of it?
So vandalism, graffiti, that would be the district. We would have to be notified early before school, the start of school, so maintenance can go out there and just clean up. So that would be a responsibility of the district. Any type of cleanup, that would be the city. And including the porta potties that they would bring in, those would be also cleaned by the weekly or cleaning would be responsibility of the city.
Okay, so district staff wouldn't be in charge of cleaning?
No.
the
No.
res- okay.
Now, the idea is, they're going to have through their park ranger program, they would have patrols there. So the idea is that with that supervision, we won't have, hopefully, vandalism or any type of graffiti, because we do have presence there from, patrols. So we're really hoping that works out for us, and just to
Yes.
minimize that.
Yes, and speaking to that, so the park ranger or city staff, they would be present the full time that it's in under park light usage? Okay.
Yes.
And it'd only be, that individual would be centered at Sycamore, so they wouldn't go to like Thomas Edison Park that's nearby or anything else?
No, it would just be for Sycamore.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's going to be another patrol at South and at Trident.
Okay, okay, I think those were all my questions.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0.
Thank you, Patty, and your team.
10.8, right of entry, City of Anaheim.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? No? Okay, seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. 10.9, facilities use agreement, St. Thomas Catholic Korean Church.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions, concerns? Seeing none. All in
We
favor,
don't
say.
have to walk from there.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0.
I was talking with one of the gentlemen at the insurance meeting, and he was saying, he was telling about parking over there. He says, it's a little bit of a walk. He said, but that's all right, now that we have limited parking in our parking lot.
For a short time, yes. 10.10, purchase through public corporation or agency, SHI International Corp.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. 10.11,
So moved.
Class Chat Inc., so moved, and a second. Any questions?
Comments?
Comments?
Yeah. I think this is super. This is one of our students that came up with
Yes.
this. And he, piloted it at Cypress High School. And actually this year, we've had it at 3, Cypress, Walker, and Cambridge. And I just think, isn't this amazing? We have one of our students that comes up with this. He sees something that, he thinks and he invents it himself. And I thought, wow, we're doing a good job.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Super. Yep. Any question? Okay, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Can't oppose that one. 10.12, a declaration of need for fully qualified educators.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any questions?
No, just more comments, Fully qualified educators. Do you know that I was not a fully qualified educator. I had to be qualified in a different way, because it wasn't, at my time, well, I taught art for all 38 years. But that was not my major. That was my minor. But they didn't do that. But, then they stopped doing majors and minors. I think they're going back to them now. So I was talking to somebody going to a college, and they were saying they had a major and a minor, and I'm going, oh, it's about time. Let's go back to what works. I just think that's funny,
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0. Did you have a comment? Oh, okay. 10.13, trustee monthly compensation.
So moved.
Motion and a second? Okay, motion and a second. I know it's a real hit to the budget, but,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, this is gonna
Any
be a-
comments? See none? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
401. 10.14, employment agreements for the superintendent, assistant superintendents, and district council.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
I abstain.
401. 10.15, membership, California Latino School Boards Association.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's 5-0. Consent calendar. Anybody wishing to pull an item?
Yes, I'd like to pull 11.5.
11 what?
11.5.
11.5? Okay.
Oh, and 1130.
11:30. We're getting there. And that's on page 24. Okay. Anything else to pull? 11.13, 11.14. Can we move the balance?
Move for the balance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0 on that, so let's go to 11.5.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second.
I just had a comment. I just wanted to commend the members of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee and their willingness to stay to oversee the remainder of the Measure H funds. So thank you.
Here, here.
Good, very good.
Yep.
Okay.
Good group, yes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that's 5-0 on
Thank
11.5.
you for pulling that.
Then we go to page 24, 11.3,
So
0.
moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Ms. Smith?
I spoke to Dr. Freed about this, and the mainly I'm concerned, it's a year out, but it's Oxford going to San Francisco. And not a lot of communities that are very good to take young people. It's a good-sized group. And with the drugs and the harm and disgust, and I went into some length with Dr. Freed. I'm from the Bay Area, and I still have family and friends that live there. And I asked, what hotel are they going to be in? Well, I felt comfortable because they're going to be down by the wharf. But I can tell you that the hotel up on Nob Hill, can't even think of the name of it, not the Fairmont, but it's awful.
Mark Hopkins?
Mark Hopkins, thank you so much. One of the greats of California history. They closed that hotel and opened it up to homeless. And quite frankly, I don't know how the heck you ever get a place back. I spent my wedding night there, and it is just so mindless to, at this time in our history, it's a great city, but a friend of mine went to the symphony the other night, and a classmate, a roommate from college, and she said there was a guy had a needle in his arm when she was walking over to the Opera House. And you see it on television, and I have family that don't live in the city, but they have annual subscriptions to plays, etc. And my niece and her husband got out of the parking garage and got down to Market Street, had to walk across the street to the Orpheum, and I'm not going to describe to you what he was doing, but it's unimaginable. And I just am very concerned, a year out, what is San Francisco going to be like? Where is the leadership? I can't even imagine. And so I have concerns about this choice of city. It's a great city by the bay, but it's not great anymore. So I just throw that out for whatever, from my perspective. It's a large group of kids going.
And they have 12 leaders going with them, so it's a ratio of a little over 7 students per adult.
What is, I can't remember who, a fellow that had your position when I came on the board. He said there was a certain ratio, but does it change?
No, there's no ratio.
And we're compliant with the ratio that.
But it's, the ratio is?
It's
1 to
8
10 or
to 8 to
12?
1 or 8 to 1. 8 to 1.
8 to 1.
8 to 1?
Just for the board's understanding, it's a visual and performing arts group that's going to be going up there. They're going to be visiting San Francisco State, which is, for that university, it's a very strong visual and performing arts program. They're going to see a recording studio and spend some time there. They're going to visit another, I think, public school in their VAPA programs, in addition to going and seeing the San Francisco Symphony and a few other visual and performing art groups. The touring company, I spoke with Ms. Houston, the principal, and she had said that the touring company is very much aware of some of the challenges in the city with homelessness and drugs, and they've made sure that to schedule the events that they're going to be going to in areas that are not considered the inner city, if you will, that don't have the volume of those issues that Ms. Smith is referring to. So
good.
Anything on that?
Thank you. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm going to abstain.
Okay, 401. Okay, that is the,
You
Mr. O'Neill,
haven't done
11,
yours.
13, and 14?
oh,
Or you haven't done, yeah, 11, 3, and 4.
sorry. Pardon me? 13,
13 and 14.
yeah, we're, okay. You're right, I didn't,
moved.
yeah.
Second.
My own, yeah.
Yeah,
So
your own.
motion and a second. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 401. Thank you, Mr. Parliamentarian, for catching that. All right, now, moving on to number 12, Superintendent and Staff Report.
Thank you very much. I have a quick report. I wanted to announce that the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and State Superintendent have announced their Civic Engagement Awards for Merit of Excellence. They only award that for top high school, top middle school, and top elementary school. And AUHSD schools have been, the following AUHSD schools have been recognized in the past: Savannah, South, Catella, Lexington, Cypress, and Walker. And as the board knows, we had a visit by the Chief Justice. And this year, we're very proud to announce that the top high school in the state of California is Gilbert, and the top middle school is Dale. And the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court will be visiting those schools in September.
All right.
As Mr. Hernandez mentioned, the district is a demonstration site. Today we hosted several districts that have visited AUHSD. I wanted to just quickly mention them and think about the number of students they represent. So Antelope Valley Union High School District, Azusa Unified, Bassett Unified, Hemet Unified, Live Oak Elementary School District, Madera Unified, Menifee Union, that's where Jennifer Root is, Montebello Unified, Paramount Unified, San Jacinto Unified, Santa Monica Malibu Unified, and Santa Paula Unified, and Valverde Unified. So big round of applause for Carlos and the team for hosting that. Amy, Kwan, you guys
Very good.
So quick report for me. I'm really proud of the great work our sites have been doing around the capstone and instruction. I think some of you have had an opportunity to go visit some of our sites. Just incredible work, the work of our admin, the work of our teachers, our counselors, all staff to really support our students, making sure education works for them. I know just to name a few, in the last couple days, or last couple weeks, I've been to Cypress, Kennedy, Loera, and Dale, and a few others. Also, last week, our district was front and center at the Michael Fullen Global Learning Lab Summit. It was here in Anaheim. It's an international conference, so countries all over the world represented and who are known as disruptors in education. And Michael Fullen highlighted us as one of the top 3 disruptors in education. So both Superintendent Matsuda and myself, along with a teacher leader, Tyler Sherman, and one of our students got to speak at a presentation, and we also got to present as, I don't want to call it a keynote, but we were featured in the keynote with everyone else where we got a 10-minute splash to talk about the work that we're doing in the vision. So a lot of attention on the great work we're doing instructionally, because a lot of other districts, as you know, are still teach to the test, and they're trying to break away from that and really make sure education's working for students. So just a highlight for the district.
Very good.
Well, as we close in on finishing another school year, I'm always amazed as I reflect back upon the year about just the incredible amount of work that's done in our district. So I just want to say thank you to all of our employees for just their incredible dedication and hard work, and they are so appreciated. Thank you.
I did have the opportunity to go to Lexington Junior High School and Magnolia High School, so that's always nice to be out at the sites. And then following up on what Dr. Freed was saying about the capstone, I do appreciate the Ed Division and all of the school principals and sites encouraging district office staff to come out. I have been to the Brookhurst Junior High School capstone, and then I participated online. I don't know if Jose is still here, but in the independent studies capstone, so both were terrific. My assistant actually went as well, Christina Bevins, to, I think she sat with Trustee O'Neill at Catella High School and Anaheim, so it's been a really meaningful experience.
I would also like to piggyback off of what has already been reported in terms of all the hard work from our district folks, our support staff, our administrators over at our sites, and really as we head into Teacher Appreciation Week next week, just acknowledge that all of this work that is being done, the capstone presentations, the work of the DLACs and the community schools, without the support of our teachers, we wouldn't see the wonderful presentations and showcases and everything that we're seeing when we go visit these capstones. So just kudos to all of our staff, and in particular our teachers, as we head into Teacher Appreciation Week. We're just very grateful for all of their support.
Thank you. Great to hear. Next, we have Board of Trustees report, number 13.
Yes, thank you. In this month, I had the opportunity to attend Anaheim High School Spring Dance Concert titled Diverse Culture Voices, and attended the ribbon cutting for Gilbert High School Food Pantry along with some of my board colleagues, which is a great experience. Attended my first STEAM Palooza, which is an incredible, amazing experience. So many things that went on that day, incredible performances and showcases from our students, and I just want to give a shout out to all the schools that participated and all the staff that took the time to prepare for that event and all the work they did and goes into that, and to Laura High School for hosting it. I would like to echo the comments about the capstone interviews. I had the opportunity to go to Savannah's High School, which was the first, I believe, is the first school that started the capstone, so it was great to see where that project originated from. I attended the final LCAP meeting, and just want to say again thank you to all the staff that put the time to put that together, and all of the community members, students and parents, teachers, and staff that joined us for the LCAP. I attended the Robots and Rockets STEAM event at Anaheim High School in partnership with California LULAC. I attended the MAC Farm to Table Dinner, which is an incredible experience. I want to thank the MAC staff and students and the club members for the 5-star service that we experienced. And I also want to give a shout out to the Samueli Academy for their generous donation that night to the MAC, and all the community partners and elected officials that joined us that night. And then I attended Sycamore Junior High School's Mrs. Cuevas biotechnology class. They were visited by Johnson & Johnson, where students engaged in an interactive hands-on activity related to biomedical devices. It was a great experience. I think the students really enjoyed it, and I look forward to more partnerships with Johnson & Johnson. And then last night, I attended the Summer Resource Fair at Sycamore Junior High School, put together by the community schools, and I just want to commend the great work that the Sycamore Junior High School team is doing. And then I had the opportunity to do site visits to Catella High School, Gilbert High School, Lexington Junior High, Oxford Academy, and Cypress High School. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Percy?
Okay, let's see. attended capstone at Cypress High School, and that was my first one. And then the next day, I went to the Oxford capstone, and it was really interesting. I found it very enjoyable, very different. Each school kind of does it differently. But I want to back up to, on the 17th, I went to a presentation from Anthem, and...
By the way, excuse me, I'm going to interrupt
Why
you.
are you taking off?
I'm going to
All
wish
right.
Umkar well.
Thank you.
This is, you're leaving us? Okay.
He's like,
Not for good. I mean, you're not kicking off, are you?
I just noticed you were still here, and I went, oh,
I
yeah, he's
just
sticking
wanted to
around.
say
Okay. Fantastic.
thank you for having
Thank
you on the board. We wish you well.
All right. Yeah.
Yes.
We'll see you at
I hope
graduation.
so.
Yeah.
Are you graduating?
he thinks so. He's on the list.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay, I understand. All right,
Fantastic.
good night.
See you then. Good night.
We love you.
And sorry, Miss Percy.
We had an all-day presentation, just about all day, presentation from Anthem and the, what is it? I don't remember the name. It starts with the C, but anyway, another pharmaceutical carrier. And so the insurance committee is making a change, and we were, it sent it out to our staff, our faculty and other groups, our union groups, to see if they'll agree. And so we may be making a change for the better one, hopefully. And then on the Wednesday and Thursday, I did the every 15 minutes that Cypress had. Now, I've known of this for years, but I have never really sat through it. It was chilling. It really was. They did a great job. The company did a good job. This year, they were able to have it on Orange at Oak Knoll Park. So it was actually on a street. They blocked off the street. We had the fire engines come, the police, and we even had the highway patrol in a helicopter over it. So it was just, it was grim. And then the next day, of course, the other part of it. So I've done it once. That's enough. Thank you. It's hard. So, but I just hoped with every being of me that these kids think seriously about this and, not drink and, and drive, because graduations are coming up, and, they want to celebrate, but let's hope they don't do it that way. And then I was able to go to, I missed this one, but on the weekend before, I went to the Hope Cup and went out there and watched them playing soccer. And some of those teachers were having a good time too. They were playing soccer too. But and then I also was able to go to Sharon Quirk Silva's breakfast meeting at the Buena Park Center there. It was very interesting. They brought up some interesting points, and we had the controller come and speak from the state, and she was interesting to listen to. I learned a lot. Then Stimapalooza was great. I just, and the best part to me, though, the teacher from Anaheim High School that does journalism, he did a project with his kids that he made them, they were not allowed to use the internet or the computers. They had to go out and interview people and write it up and then type it up on manual typewriters.
You have to go find one.
He had 6 of them, and he was working on another one. And and it was just, I went, I remember these, and you really got, and I had to say something, but I was telling him, I thought it was great. I thought that was a phenomenal thing. And then they typed up their whole paper, and then they could Xerox it and then they made little booklets. And I said, God, can I have one? And he said, I was telling the girls, I thought, I'd like to have this one. And they said, I'm sorry, they're just for show. You can't have one. I went, okay. So then I guess the girl went over and talked to the teacher, and he came, no, she can have one. So I was able to keep one. But I was just really impressed. That was a great thing for them to have to do it all from scratch. And one thing I think about over and over again, because I did a lot of typing. I got my first job with a seventh grade typing class. That gave me the knowledge to do it. When we had manual typewriters, secretaries, or even when we had the manual cash registers in the stores, people never got carpal tunnel because they made complete movements and they were pressing with their muscles. They weren't just little movements. So carpal tunnel was unheard of when, you know, people were pounding away at keys. But along with progress, you get some other problems. So, but it's interesting. So, but anyway, I love that. I thought that was really neat. And they had all these old typewriters out there. So. And then I attended the discipline meeting, and then the ambassadors' dinner and farewell, and the Western capstone meeting. And, oh yes, and my last thing was yesterday, the State of the City for Buena Park. And this time they mentioned Kennedy being 50% Buena Park students. And so we got a shout out this time. Because I spoke to a couple of the city council people last year, or the year before. I was very unhappy that we were not noted in the report of the city. So they are noting us now. So, and that's all I have of, I think I got it, everything.
The insurance committee.
The insurance committee, I spent that whole day. Yeah, no, that was the whole day.
Okay. I attended the all-day insurance committee meeting. Well, you learn a lot from these, just listening. And the discipline committee, and the farm to table was a life experience. The menu was wonderful. The young man that gave my husband and me a tour through the farm, and we asked him, what is that? What is that? What is that? And he said, what is your favorite vegetable? And I said, well, what's your favorite vegetable? And he pointed to it and explained it to me. And it was so informational because some of these plants were really new to me. And so we walked along and he said, oh, and broccoli. And I said, do you remember who President George H.W., thank you, Bush was? And he said, no, I never heard of him. And I said, well, when he was president, he let something drop on it at a news report that he hated broccoli. And all these farmers from America came across in their trucks with broccoli to the White House. So I said, you could have been a good help to him if you had just tapped him on the shoulder and say you love broccoli. But the farm to table, from soup to nuts, it was just a remarkable experience. The young people that were serving the tables smiled, were friendly, warm, and it was genuinely a wonderful life experience. And to have created this farm in a place that used to be very rural, and now we're not. And it's brought back some real history, I think, just California history. And I loved it. And I attended the Gilbert, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this, Mercadito?
Mercadito.
Mercado.
Mercadito, yeah.
Mercadito. Yes. That was fun, and I enjoyed that immensely. And I saw it on the news. There was some program. I can't remember which news program it was, but it was fun to see that, and they gave a good tour via the camera. And the farewell for the ambassadors. I called Dr. Billings when I returned home after that event, and I left her a message, and I said, my heart is so full from what you started in this school district with the idea of a student ambassador and how it has bloomed. And I mailed her the program just so she could see all 4 pages, and even they gave credit to the person, the student that designed the program. It was wonderful. And I attended 2 capstones at Savannah, and I was with Dr. Sidhu the first time and Mike Pooley, and the second time, I can't remember who the gal, what her name was, but we sat at a long table, and Mike Pooley was here, and I was here, the students here, and Dr. Sidhu's here, and I'm listening, and I'm looking at the other adults at the table, and I said to Mike, do you have a tissue box? And he slid it down the table to me. And I think of what young people go through today. And in contrast to my generation, and San Francisco was a beautiful place to go. It was safe. And transfer to where we are today and the difficulties that families are having, and just being part of a community. And I think of all the wonderful things that Mike and your team have done, and wonderful people out here to create these entities to help young people. And on the critique, I just wrote right across the page in script, wonderful. Because this young man is truly wonderful. And we had 2 that morning. It was very much the same, a young lady. And I looked up at Mike Pooley and I said, I just think I need that tissue box again. And on hers critique, I just wrote wonderful. And the second day was pretty much the same. We kept passing the tissue box in gratitude for what these young people are weathering today with mental health and thinking of their future and how are they going to attain their next steps. And I left the room feeling very comfortable that they're going to make it. And I asked Mike Pulley, how did this capstone occur? And as we all know, everything is generated with a seed of someone's idea. And he said that Mr. Switzer, he's still a teacher there?
Curriculum specialist in the Ed division.
Yeah, he's still with us.
Here at the district office.
Yep.
Well, he said that, is his first name Richard?
Mike.
Mike Switzer.
Yep.
He has a good first name.
So is Mike Pulley.
Yeah, so that's right. That's right.
The 3 mics in the mic. And it's such a wonderful idea. And then you have this idea and it percolates up, and then he and Mike Pulley kind of generated it, and then it flowered and germinated, and then it was watered, and now it's out in full bloom. And they're passing the tissue box. Because for these young people to share their stories is painful and joyful. So I want to thank everyone here. I look out at you, Patty, and Dr. Bryant, and all you wonderful people. I see Orlando back there, and the wonderful meals that you prepare, and our kids are too young maybe to even appreciate what has gone forth in a school district for them. But you all have great hearts, and I just want to thank each and every one of you for what you do. So I hope your summer is wonderful, and pass it on to Anna.
Not quite, Mr. Superintendent.
I'd like to just make a comment, Kathy, and to all of the board for participating in the capstones, because I think you hit the nail. You think about our kids who would otherwise not be heard and feel invisible. And I know the board's very concerned about the mental health of our young people and just how affirming that is and healing just to be the audience to listen to their stories. Very powerful. So on behalf of the students and all of the work, the teachers out there really want to, we're very grateful to the board. I know
I
all
would
of you.
like to add, this is something that will stick with me forever, and I've shared it with other people. Young man came in, he's a senior, and he loves sports, and he was at Savannah. And I didn't go through the particulars with him, but the story is he had to walk home. I shared it with you. And at 9 o'clock at night, dressed in black. And he said he lives 3 miles away from school. And I was just stunned to hear this story. And he said that his younger brother, who's a sophomore, walked with him. And I said to him, one of the greatest parts of your story is that you had your brother to walk with you, because to walk at 9 o'clock at night is not a good thing. So I share that because it's just another story with our young people doing what they do.
Ms. Randall Trejo?
A skunk?
Thank you. As somebody who works in behavioral health, I know how affirming that is. And that's very interesting. Very affirming that students really need to be heard and seen, right? And this is what I'm so proud of our district for doing. I'll make it very quick. GASELPA meeting, ROP meeting, attended part of the Strategic Arts Plan revisioning meeting. I came to the tail end of the student ambassador send-off, and these guys over here ate all the cake because there was nothing left. The wonderful farm-to-table dinner at Magnolia, just amazing. And then celebrations at Gilbert, the ribbon cutting at El Mercadillo, and the cybersecurity celebration at Cypress College for our students. Amazing work over there. And then the GASELPA had their community advisory committee awards, and I will name our Anaheim Union High School District awardees. Amador, Miss Amador, and John Koppel. And Miss Amador is a parent, and we have a bus driver, and they're from Hope School. Let's see. Of course, the SEMA-Palooza, which was absolutely wonderful and marvelous. I echo the sentiments. I also bought too much stuff from there from our kids. It was so tempting. The Savannah High School Concert Chamber solo. I stayed about 2 hours and a half, and I had to get home, do my homework. I think they had a couple more students, so I apologize for leaving early. It was just so wonderful to hear the students collaborating in ensembles and then solo, being brave to do a solo. And some of them had made their first solo debut. So it was kudos to Savannah team over there. And I think a highlight for me, and as you heard all the wonderful ambassadors talking about how they were given the task to go to the Anaheim elementary schools to talk about our pledge. Well, I heard Vinod speak at my school at Franklin, and just a highlight, and just so proud. A proud mama to hear our students being able to represent our wonderful district. And that's my report.
Good. Thank you. I was trying to find something, but I can't find it. I was going to. What?
The
O'Neill?
celebration of success.
Yes, it's on my list, yeah. Repeat what has gone before me. Hope Cup soccer tournament. It was wonderful being out there and seeing the kids from Hope and the surrounding communities in their competition, all very excited. I attended a Kennedy Scholarship dinner and award and recognition of scholarships, and the committee gave away $21,000 that night for the scholarships. So we've done well this last year. I attended, again, the Loara Elementary 6th grade presentation by 2 of our ambassadors, and they did a great job again. And of course, they were recognized tonight, and you can see how they did a great job at the elementary school. I attended the El Mercadito and ribbon cutting, which was nice to see. It's wonderful for the community, and looking forward to more throughout the district. Anaheim Collaborative opening, I was here for a few minutes, but I had another engagement, so I had to run, but I was here for just a little bit. Steamapalooza seems to get better every year. It was wonderful. What an opportunity for the kids, and so much excitement, and you just feel it out there. I was trying to find the Catella Talks on here. I attended the Catella Talks, and boy, our students are fantastic. The topics they have and the way they present themselves, so it's wonderful knowing that it's not us, but it's the district that is educating them and bringing them up to that level to be able to present. Cypress College Cyber Patriots Awards, attended that. ROP Celebration of Success, and that's always a nice event, awarding ROP students from all of the district's scholarships. And of course, the Mac Farm Table to Community Dinner. What a wonderful event, seeing the food that we are producing and the opportunity for the students to learn about what's going to help them in the future. I got to represent the district in a La Palma Festival of Nations Parade, and I attended the Ball and Lexington capstone interviews. I have one more tomorrow morning, and attended the Buena Park State of the City luncheon yesterday. And I popped in to say goodbye to the ambassadors because I had to go across the street to ROP meeting, but at least I got in for 5 minutes to say thank you and so long and good luck. And I didn't get to tell Omkar this, but because he's going to miss out, but this is the last board meeting for the school year, so that means that we're going into summer mode, gentlemen. I'm only the only person here. We go to summer dress code. So, and Omkar couldn't do that, so sorry, Omkar. So, with that said,
I have one more thing to say.
wait a minute, it's past your turn. What? Okay, come back around.
Well, we can go back.
Happy Mother's Day to
Well, thank you.
everyone. Yes.
Oh,
Mother's Day.
Yes.
that's a week away.
Yes, next weekend.
Okay, so, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So, number 14, advanced planning. We have future meeting dates of June 8th. Mark your calendars, and we have any suggested agenda items?
Yes, I have a few. Okay.
A few?
Yeah. Okay, first of all, yesterday, I was speaking with Jim Box at the Buena Park State of the City, and he said, we haven't met. So we have not been doing our quarterly meetings. So it's been quite a while since I know with Buena Park, we haven't had a meeting. So I'd like for us to get back and set up our quarterly meetings with our cities. I think we met with Cypress. I remember meeting with Cypress, but Stanton, no.
La Palma?
Palma, no.
Buena Park? No.
And Buena Park. So I really found that to be a good touch base with those communities, and you find out a lot that's going on. I found out a lot of what's happening in Buena Park yesterday, but when we had our meetings, we are actually able to touch ground a little bit better. So that's number one. Okay, then Ron Hoshi and I were talking, and Ron would like us to have the board meet with the new ambassadors and have a chance to really kind of interact with them a little bit and get to know them a little better. So if we could have like a panel meeting with the board, find some time when all of us could maybe meet with them and they could look at the calendar and set it up, I think that would be good because we know they're out there working and we see them in some of the events that they're working, but I think it would be nice to actually get a chance to sit down and, kind of meet them and spend a little bit of time with them so we get to know who they are. I would like that, okay. And then, getting to the MOU with Cyprus, okay. The bleachers, that was one of my questions. It says in there, the bleachers at Cypress Arnold Park, we could have, if we want them, and you know, if we could move them to Walker, we can use them. They think they have 6 10 by 15 bleachers or something like that. They're the metal bleachers. And when I was at Lexington this week for the softball game, I noticed they had one set of bleachers were cordoned off with, you know, caution tape. And I wanted to ask, how come? I don't know why, but are they bad and do they need to get rid of them? But if the city of Cypress is willing to give us those bleachers, I think we ought to go get them. It'll cost us to go get them, I know, but otherwise they're free. And we could use them at Walker and other junior highs. So,
Opportunity.
can we, okay, we are? Okay, excellent. Because I thought, you know, they're aluminum bleachers. Okay. Okay, excellent, okay.
Yes.
Now, my next question is this thing, because I got approached by one of the board members for Cypress Softball. He was asking, you know, they're concerned about the cost to change the baseball fields to softball. Okay, I just learned this. Baseball uses a grass infield, softball uses an earth. What kind of earth? Diatomaceous earth or something? I don't know. I think that's what they clean swimming pools with. Anyway, it's a special kind of dirt. But he wanted to know what the cost, in other words, if we could come up with if possible, our maintenance department could pick up the grass out of the softball fields, and if we could pay them to do it. In other words, because he said it would probably be less expensive if the district did it and we paid the district than if they went out and got another company. So I don't know. I want to throw it out there and wonder if it's possible, if we could maybe come up with an idea of what the cost would be and let them know. They're going to go to the city council meeting and ask the city to kind of put forth money to pay for this, because as well, I'm looking for the word, the group, student group, young youth group, they don't have a lot of money for that, and they're trying to save money for something else. So anyway, that's what they're worried about, because it needs to be done. And so if the school could do it and we could pay the school, if it would be cheaper than going out and getting a regular company. So maybe if somebody would give me an idea, I would appreciate it. And so I did that, okay, and that's it, okay? That's great. You've already started on the bleachers and all that, and that's super. So the thing about Walker being an ideal location is it is just a block away from Cypress Arnold Park, and right across from Kennedy High School. So that makes a triangle of areas that is really good. And I know that Kennedy's softball team used to use the field quite a bit at Cypress Arnold. The girls softball practiced there and played there, and so. But they're going to be doing that entire park totally different. So they're skinning everything, and everything's coming down, and everything will be redone. And this will take a year to 18 months. So that's and that is the main, feel for the girls. So anyway, that's it.
Do I have a motion?
Move to adjourn?
Yes. That's
Okay,
the only
I move
motion
to
left.
adjourn.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.